Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Man, this lighting looks awful, huh? How's that for terrible lighting? What do I do here to change the color? I don't even know what I'm doing. How's that? How's that? That's better. All right. So, for those of you who do not know, I'm John. This is John's Long Box. This is my YouTube channel where I basically avoid drama and talk comics. Excuse me. And for those of you wondering, yes, I used to be the guy with the beard. I passed out while driving. I low blood sugar or some sort of heat thing, fainted while driving and crashed, broke my neck. And I went to the doctor on Friday, and I have to wear this for another month. The doctor said, you know, this. I went in the emergency room. They said it was a hairline fracture. And then when I went to the specialist, my specialist came in and said, "You are lucky." And then was showing me all the pictures. It's not just a hairline fracture. It's like a bunch of fractures. It's like a spiderweb fractures. And they said any one of these pieces could have fell off, could have chipped my arteries. You know, they said you would have been paralyzed. You know, you're not taking this off for 3 months. So I got to wear this for another month. I don't even know when I'm going back to work. So that's all the story there. So anyway, I have a comic on Kickstarter. I was originally on Fund My Comic. That finished up. Now it's on Kickstarter, and it's finishing tomorrow. I think it's closing tomorrow around 8 o'clock. So I'll probably talk about it again tomorrow. So I wanted to do a little stream tonight about, you know, closing out my comic. This is an open invite show, meaning anybody could come in. Click on this, open invite. Anybody could come in. Matter of fact, let me star that. So there you go. I'm learning. Anybody could come in, and we'll talk. Hey, can't say, but I'm looking forward to reading. Thank you. Sci-Fi's Life Gaming. New name to me. Thank you so much. Man, my hair looks crazy. Thank you. I'm looking forward to you reading it and tell me what you think. And hopefully you'll back issue number 2, which we're working on. We're up to page 7 of issue number 2. So here I'm going to add this to the stage. Tells we don't need to see the behind the scenes stuff. You guys learn all the extra codes and everything like that. So I got 50 backers on Kickstarter, which is pretty good because I got like 200 and something backers on Fund My Comic. So going forward, Fund My Comic, I think, is going to be my home. This was my first campaign. Yeah, I'm a rookie. I don't know what I'm doing as far as like marketing and everything like that. I know what I'm doing as far as making a comic, but I put an exclusive cover on Fund My Comic, an exclusive cover on Kickstarter, and Friday, if everything goes on target, I'm going to have an exclusive comic cover on Indiegogo. I don't think I showed that cover yet. Nick is doing the cover dress as we speak. So, I just ran out of, I forgot. Hey, I'm eager to get the first issue. I'm eager to get it to you. So, tomorrow, Bill Williams is going to start lettering it. And then once we get it lettered, it's pre-press, and then it's press, and then it's ship it to you guys. So I said October. Today is September 2nd. It looks like I'm on schedule. So I'm excited. I gave myself extra time. So I might as well run through the campaign again. Here's the Renzo Rodriguez cover for Heroic Tales #1. This is the black and white cover. This is the back cover as the front cover. People wanted that because let's face it, that is an amazing piece of art. People want to look at that. And this is, to me, I love this. This is Michael T. Gilbert. I am a gushing, raving fanboy of Michael T. Gilbert. What a great guy he is. Michael T. Gilbert, for those of you who don't know, did Mr. Monster. He still does Mr. Monster, but his input seems to have slowed down. Mr. Monster was really big in the 80s and 90s. Is a tongue-in-cheek occult investigator. I think he came out before Hellboy. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of like silliness, a lot of whimsical, but goofy horror. I just ate it up as a kid. I love it. So this is his version of it. And he referenced, like, right over here, it says after Kurt Swan. So this is him referencing a Kurt Swan Superboy comic. Oh, man. Oh, what do we got? Another comment over here. Hey, Angle Mill. Fund My Comic doesn't have as much traffic, so you have to be really bringing bright. Yeah. I mean, I did pretty good, but I'm going to start on Indiegogo. So let's see what happens. I'm going to start on Indiegogo on Friday. Again, open invite for anybody who wants to stream with me. So what else we got here? This is the back cover. I already showed it with the back cover is the front cover. I was coming home from work and I'm taking the Long Island Railroad, and I was like, you know what? I don't want my back cover to just be like nothing against this comic. Nothing against this comic. This is Omega Girl #4. But on the back, it has an advertisement for the printer, which is nice. You know, let them advertise. But it's my first comic. I didn't want to put an advertisement for the printer on the back. So I daydreamed this, and then I called Renzo and described it to him, and he just knocked it out of the park. And then look at those covers by Daniel De La Silva Rodriguez. This is the first 5 pages of the internal art. Look at that. Look at that. Tonight after the stream, and then tomorrow when I wake up, I'm just putting some finishing touches on dialogue, and the dialogue script is going off to Bill, and he's going to start lettering tomorrow night. Here is a coin and a pint glass. You can see I got the pint glass here in my hand. These exist already. I got these made already. They're right here. Drinking my water out of it. Coins are already made. They're here. They're in my hand. There you go. They're the size of a quarter. And then I got these other coins made up, these challenge coins, these big old challenge coins. I'll be talking about them at some other time. So I got all of this stuff made already. I just got to print the comic. These are the cards. We unlocked 4 of the 6 cards already. I'm hoping I could unlock the last 2 on Indiegogo. All the formats blend together. The money, you know, I don't care where the money comes from. They all pull together. So if I make another 2K on Indiegogo, all the cards will be unlocked. And yes, the cards are already made. They're here in my hands. These are all the cards. You can see, here's the card that we just unlocked. And you can see on the back, it's got the Villains Vigilante stats, because, the role-playing game, Villains Vigilantes, what inspired everything. As they're falling down. So everything but the comic is made. There's me. And then let's look at, while we're looking at the stretch goals, let's look at the tiers. So I got pledge without a reward. Wow, somebody pledged without a reward. That was nice of you. Digital copy, $6. Got to give people a digital option, especially people overseas. We got 12 people back in at $10, just $10 for a complete comic book. Oh, I failed to tell you how many pages. 22-page patriarch story, a 9-page unheroic tales about the bad guy Lucius Kane, 3 pages of ads, and a letters page. So that's 22 plus 9 is 31 plus 34, 35 pages for $10. $10, here's the variant cover. I'm not charging more for the variant cover, even though this was a lot more money to produce. But this is the Michael T. Gilbert cover. This looks like it's probably going to be the rare one. There's the back cover. Oh, wow, 6 people got this. Cool. The back cover. Oh, 1 person got the blank variant. So this is a black and white variant. A couple of people wanted to get this comic black and white. So I'll have to print one up black and white. Print, that'll be the super rare variant. Pint glass in a comic. The variant in the pint glass. The variant and the regular, $20. Both covers. 3 for $25. 3 for $25. 25 for a pint glass and the 2 variants. 4 people got that. That's pretty cool. So, I wanted to keep the campaign simple. So what do they say? Keep it simple, stupid. So I'm pretty stupid. So I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm more into manga style, but props to you for putting money where your mouth is, making a comment. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That was very nice of you. And already my mouth is drying out. I can't wait to see the patriarch in action. Thank you. Synthetic Panels, how you doing? Good to see you. A lot of new names. And Ernest, thank you. You've been retweeting everything and commenting. Thank you so much. So again, this is an open invite stream. Anybody could come in and talk with me. And I hate seeing this big giant face of me looking at it, so what I'm going to do is I am going to add this to the stage, and I'm going to make one big. I'll swap them around. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk. These are the comics that I've been reading since the last time I did a What You're Reading. So I figure I'll do a What You're Reading, Bag and Board comics, and we'll talk with people. What do you guys want to talk about? You're welcome to come in and join. Hello. So I'm just reminding people that my campaign is still out there, talking about that. And then just doing comic book collector stuff. Everybody wants to be into comics until it's time to bag and board. And let me get my mail out of here. Nobody needs to see my address. So how are you guys doing? So what I'm doing is bagging and boarding. How do you guys bag and board? I got these boards. So what I do is, this is the shiny side. This is the rough side. So when I put it in, the comic book is going to face the shiny side. Put the comic book in. As you can see, this stupid thing pulls off. I don't like these. I don't like these self-sticking ones. They sent them to me because now I got these. These things just, my cats, my cats always find them. And they always go. So this is Omega Girl. These are there's only 4 issues right now. It's a nice, wholesome, all ages superhero comic. She might as well be Supergirl. She's got like the same power set. It's kind of basic, kind of simple. To me, this is a Saturday morning cartoon comic book. $4.99. You could go to Indie Planet. I think they print them on demand. I enjoyed it for what it's worth. It was a fun. It's not the Watchmen. I don't think it's meant to be the Watchmen. It's just a fun, all ages superhero comic. So I'm just showing off these covers over here. It's this Combustibelle. What a great name. So she's a superhero who's super violent and wants to kill and burn like all the criminals. You know what I mean? So that was like a little moral conundrum. What does Goody Two Shoes Omega Girl do when Combustibelle wants to burn everybody to death? Not just kill them, but burn them to death. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bagging and boarding and talking about my Kickstarter. People are welcome to join in. Again, I will put this here. So anybody wants to join in and talk with me, I'll talk until my voice can't go anymore. The campaign ends in how long we got? My campaign ends in 22 hours. I'm just going to refresh this. Yeah, 22 hours. 22 hours. And then other people. Okay. I'm unable to go live, but I do enjoy your oh, thank you. I just grab a Silver Age bag and a board and shove it in. Stack it in order. Yeah. Now, when you say you stack it in order, what is your order? Alphabetical order? By comic book company, by genre. I put everything in alphabetical order. Marvel, DC, I got Spider-Man is SP, Superman is SU, but I don't break things up by here's the first, this is the second issue. Like I said, it's a fun, wholesome comic. I'm a comic reader, so I have a lot of unbegged in my collection. Yeah, I read every comic I get. Well, I try to. I think I'm down to 17 long boxes of comics that I haven't read yet. But I will read my comics, unless the next time I crash into a tree does more damage. But I will read. And that's all I've been doing. I've been home. For those of you who don't know, I literally broke my neck. And I'm not really allowed to do stuff. Although, 2 weeks ago, I went outside with the chainsaw and cut down a bunch of trees in my backyard and stuff. I get so you get stir crazy, you know. So, and then Sunday I went to Queens. My wife drove. I'm not allowed to drive because I can't turn my head. But we just bought a new car, and we drove to Queens, and I took this old lady that I take food shopping out. So this is number one, The Adventures of Omega Girl. It was nice. It was like I said, it was a nice, wholesome, all ages comic. I liked it. I liked it. You know, it's not edgy or anything like that. The Master Hobo says, "Greetings from the homeless shelter." Oh, geez, how's Heroic Tales coming along? It's going pretty good. I just had a game night here. My friend Adam and my friend Alyssa just came over. We played a game called Scoville, where the object of the game is to make the hottest chili in the world. Lisa always beats us. She always beats us. But I was talking about, like, between Fund My Comic and Kickstarter, I broke even. So Indiegogo is gonna pay for the shipping. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I broke even as far as the cost of making the comic. So I'm hoping Indiegogo will do like $2,000 because that'll pay for like printing and shipping. I'm hoping. Tyrone LaFrance, how you doing? Good to see you. What if it starts with a number? I don't get it. What starts with a number? Oh, the comic books. Yeah, numbers are first. So the very first comic in my collection is 05 Samurai or something like that. Yeah, it's numbers first, then alphabetical order. So like 1985, the comic by Mark Miller is at the beginning. I have a book like 499 by your boy Zach. That's like in the first box. But I think the very first comic that's in there is like 01 something, like some real old indie book from the 80s. I got you. I didn't understand, but I got you now. I have a DC group, a Marvel group, an independent group, a crowdfunding group, and a separate group for Batman because it's so big. Yeah, I originally did that. But then I started to forget which comics came out from which company, like Usagi Yojimbo. It was Pacific Comics, and it was DC Comics, and it was First Comics, then it was Fantagraphic Comics, then it was Mirage, then now it's Dark Horse. So I just said, you know what? Everything is in alphabetical order, regardless, and it's by character. So it's Superman. So the Superman goes first, SU. Then Adventures, no, Superman, and then Action Comics, Superman is next. That's the Adventures of Superman. Then it would be like Superman, Man of Steel, and then Uncanny Superman or whatever. So that's the way it goes. Atari Force, you look at it here. This was excellent. A classic. This was excellent. I got to say, first off, the art was really good, but I avoided this like the plague when it first came out. Atari Force. I was like, this looks like the stupidest comic ever. I just avoided it, and I just been hearing, like lately, for whatever reason, people have been talking about how good it is. So I bought it. I just bought it, and I read the first 5 issues. It's excellent. So I put it in order for 6 to 10. I always buy back issues in 5s, just a purposeful way to limit myself. But this is excellent. Art is really good. This girl Dart, man, she likes the boys. I gotta say that. It is really good. Fellbug says hello. Hey Fell, how's it going, Fellsbug? A comic time. Yeah, I got what you. I forgot. Amazing Spider-Man in A and Spectacular Spider. No, they're both under Spider-Man. So it goes by the character. So Spider-Man. So the adjectiveless Spider-Man would go first, even though Amazing Spider-Man is first chronologically. So Spider-Man, then Amazing Spider-Man, then Spectacular Spider-Man, then Web of Spider-Man. But because I want all my Spider-Mans in the same area, especially when I want to read like Craven's Last Hunt that jumps around. So that's what I do. World's Finest is World's Finest because it's Batman and Superman. My comic book collection, my rules. I'm surprised I gotta look up like the reason why they made this, but it's the Advanced Technology and Research and Engineering or something like that. Advanced Technology and Research Initiative. That's what Atari stands for. And they just wear the Atari symbol. But what I really appreciated is the first 4 issues is just character development, and then issue 5, the story begins. It's a, this must have been like nobody was paying attention, so nobody really cared, so they could do whatever they want. Since Brian Bauer's here, I might as well. Here's your cards, Brian. Look at that. Your cards, Brian, right there. And why am I saying, hey, Brian, I'm sick in bed? Yeah, I saw that you were sick in bed. I saw that you were sick in bed. How you doing? I had a little bout with sickness. I was a little sick, but I feel like I didn't want to talk about it because between the broken neck, I'm like, people are gonna be sick of this. Woe is me. So I just did, but I think there's some illness going around. Like nothing serious. I heard Chuck Dixon liked Atari. Yeah, I could see why. He's the reason why I got it. He talked about it. Chuck Dixon does a Wednesday show on Chuck Dixon. I think it's just called Ask Chuck Dixon every Wednesday on his YouTube channel, Chuck Dixon. And he talked about it. And then Kelsey Shannon talked about how good it was. I was like, all right. They're like $1 a piece. You know what I mean? They're $1 a piece if you can find them. So I was like, all right, it's excellent. Absolutely excellent so far. Bizarre Heroes. This is Don Simpson's Bizarre Heroes. Megaton Man. This, if you saw my Twitter, I posted the open page editorial, and I said, does this make sense to anybody? It was the worst. Yeah, it really needed an editor. The story's beautiful, but the storytelling is awful. Storytelling is meaning these are beautiful individual drawings that you need the words to follow along, and that's not what a comic book should have. Storytelling, it's not enough to have good art. It's not enough to have beautifully rendered art, but they have to be connected. There has to be like a logical connection between the panels, and these have beautiful art, but the storytelling is terrible. Aaron Lopresti hates Atari Force. Kelsey loves it. Yeah, I didn't know Aaron Lopresti hates it. Every time I go live, I get messages. I have a huge backlog of Ask Chuck. Yeah, me too. I stopped. I like listening to it on the commuter train to work, and since I'm home, I haven't watched it in a month. So if you notice, he mentions me a lot because I used to ask a lot of questions. I haven't asked a question since I broke my neck, so he hasn't mentioned me in a while. But a couple times he was like, "Hey, my buddy John." So I'm officially Chuck Dixon's buddy. That's his words, not mine. I'm not a stalker. Just ordered 1 to 13 of Elementals. Oh, wow. How much was it expensive? Was it expensive to get? And I assume they're first prints because I don't think they've ever been printed again. Wow. Let me know what you think. Let me know, Ernest. And again, anybody wants to come in and we'll talk about comics. This is just a reminder of I have my Kickstarter, my live kicks. I'll bring it up every once in a while. The Master Hobo is your show with Kelsey now called One Beard, One Comic? I'm growing back my beard. I like but that show is on hiatus until Kelsey reemerges from the bayou. Kelsey has submerged himself into the Louisiana bayou. I haven't heard from him. I don't have his phone number. We just communicated through Twitter. But that's how Kelsey does that. He's a sine wave. He's very active, and then he goes. I think he has a lot of work, and I also know he has situations at home. So when he's ready to come back, we'll come back because we need to do issue 4 and 6 of Secret Wars. Again, here's the link to anybody who wants to pop in and talk. I've seen John B come up in the question. That's me, Dale. $18 for 1 to 13. You got all Elementals 1 to 13 for $18. Nice, awesome. Ever got those Master of Kung Fu Marvels did under a different publisher? I don't understand this question. Tice, could you re-explain this? I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying. Oh no, Kelsey's going to turn it. Kelsey is the Swamp Thing. Kelsey is. Have you ever? He wears the beard to cover the mold and the sticks and everything. This is Bizarre Heroes. Anybody else? I'm a Don Simpsons fanboy. I spoke to him about coming on my channel. He had like rules. He wanted an itinerary. I'm like, I don't know. This is what I did for Sunday Comics. This is a piece of paper. So I just did this. This is 8.0, but now that I took it out, it's probably at a 7.8. But this is the first print of the original Star Wars comic. Hey, Jim, you want to come in? Jim, this is an open invite. Come on in. We're just talking comics. How you doing, Jim? Oh, the Deadly End. Yeah, I got him right here. I got him right here. Yeah. Everything's in. I got him right here. I got all the comics in arm's reach over here, Tyson. They are classics. They are classics. I did a video about the origin of Star-Lord, about how different. Oh, you're about to eat dinner. What are you eating? What are you eating? What are you eating? I had a board game night. I'm so mad I missed it because I had an invite to Matt Bauer's freaking awesome show that he does on Fridays on Mondays, and it looks like a doozy. He did it for 3 hours, and Ethan Van Sciver showed up. Oh man, I know I avoid drama, but that would have been fun. That would have been fun. I still don't even know why I was the target of a cancellation attempt. But this was really good. Oh, nice. So you saw that. You saw, yeah, the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu by Curtis. Yeah, I got a lot of those Marvel magazines. I really like them. I'm not going to pull it out because it's in the middle of this teetering stack of comics right over here, right next to me. But you can see it's right in there. Is a Savage Sword of Conan #1. I'm going to start reading those pretty soon. Just going to start reading now. Yes, someone said, Master Hobo, you see cross-gen. Yes, this is, I'll show these in order. This is cross-gen's The Silken Ghost. So this is a sister series to Way of the Rat. So it's Chuck Dixon, Will Rosado, Chuck Gibson, and Michael Astor. This was a Crossroads comic. Not a Crossroads comic, a Cross-Gen's comic. And Cross-Gen was a company that came and went while I was at my poorest. Oh my Lord. I was finishing up college. I think it was the year after college. I was teaching preschool and I was working in a bar. Oh my God, I was paying off my student loans. I was so broke. So I didn't even want to know about another comic book company. So CrossGen just missed. And now I've been buying almost everything I can get my hands on by CrossGen, and they're all excellent. Oh, we got a Brian Bow comment. Panel to panel storytelling should be so clear you could move the text captions and the dialogue and still be able to follow us. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm asking, wow, I got 50 people watching. When my comic comes out, could you let me know if the storytelling is good? That's something that I think it's good, but I'm too close to home. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know. At Brian Bow, like, you could remove the words in Wolf and Batsy and you could get the gist of the story. Like, you're not going to get the subtle fine points, but through the facial expressions, it's almost like it should be a storyboard for a movie, and the words should enhance the story, not tell the story. I hate to say it, but the worst offender was Howard Chaykin. Oh my God, Howard Chaykin. As much as I love Howard Chaykin, but Howard Chaykin is worth the work. But read American Flag. It sometimes you're like, what's going on, And then the problem with Howard Chaykin is a lot of the guys look the same. So you're like, and all the women look the same. They all got big boobs, a beauty mark. So you have to tell them apart by the costumes. But Brian Bow is absolutely right. Brian, you're not feeling good? I would love for you to come on and talk. My favorite omnibus purchase is the 3-volume set of Marvel Star Wars. I told my wife I would not go to my local comic store for the rest of the year. Oh, so I was talking about this. So this is a 5-issue series, the Silken Ghost. These are the 5 ghosts. So there's the Silken Ghost, the Lightning Ghost. What is her name? I forget. She is the I forget what her. She's not the Iron Ghost, because this is the Iron Ghost. Then he is the 5th ghost, and of course he turned on the Master, and they had to fight him. It was a real good story, real good. It was basic kung fu movie. You know, you've dishonored the dojo. We want revenge, but it was awesome, awesome. I got Pit number 13. So I'm missing issues of Pit, so I just put it in order for 14 so I could continue reading it. Blue Beetle number 6. I quit reading this, but I just I got to finish the series. So this is the 2006 series. Yeah, 2006 right here. It's not bad. It's not as bad as I remembered. Not as bad as I remembered. Master Hobo says, I really went to get some crossed comics since Chuck 6. Yeah. The problem is that the CrossGen suddenly went out of business. So like Way of the Rat was never finished, or Braith was never finished. And Braith was a Celtic warrior, you know, fighting the Romans. And Way of the Rat was a Chinese thief in China. But the thing is, the way the CrossGen world worked, it wasn't Earth. So it was like a, you know, they didn't say China. I forget what they said instead of China. And they didn't say Rome. I forget what they said instead of Bithynia, something like that. And it just pulls you out of it a little bit. So Chuck Dixon, after like a couple of issues, never really mentions the city names anymore. It just lets you get immersed. You think it's China. For all intents and purposes, it's China. Yeah, Giffen can't go wrong. I will say I don't like Ambush Bug. I read Ambush Bug a couple months ago, and I just hated it. So I don't like those, like Deadpool and Ambush Bug to me are like the same, just goofy character. I don't know, but I love Giffen's other stuff. So I guess he's 95% on target. My favorite omnibus, I don't have one because I avoid omnibuses. I try to get the floppies whenever I can. So I don't get omnibuses. So I legit can't answer your question. But I will say that I love these newsprint, old school Superman, Batman. If somebody comes in the chat and can talk, I'll go get these things that I'm talking about. But a couple of years ago, they made Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern archives. And they were newsprint, just trade paperbacks. And they were going to do them in chronological order of all the Superman stories, all the Wonder Woman. And I thought they were just not just wonderful, cheap reprints of these comics that make it affordable for you and I, but I thought they were like historical documents, because who could read the first 6 issues of Superman, you know, in your hand? So that's my favorite omnibus, even though it's not really an omnibus. This is East of West. This is John Hickman. Wow, imagine it's the future of the United States of America. We're divided among clans, and we got the black people and the Chinese people and these people. It's trite. It's so trite, and you can get rid of every other issue. Although this issue is excellent, this particular issue is excellent. But I don't care, you know. But I'm just collecting it because I'm anal retentive, and I got to finish the series. I think it goes to 36. So every time I put in an order for back issues, I get one more issue. This was awful. This is the last Fantastic Four annual in the original run of Fantastic Four from 1 to 416, and it was just awful. Introduced Wild Streak, a character that, as far as I know, has never been seen again. This is Fantastic Four 46. So this is the last issue in the original Fantastic Four run. The next, you know, after this, it's Heroes Reborn. I just wanted to reread these because Wednesday, Tom DeFalco will be on my channel. Tom DeFalco, the legendary, is 215. It's 214. As far as I'm concerned, this is like the last real run of the Tom DeFalco series, because the rest of these are just preparing for Heroes Reborn. you know. And these were a lot better than I forgot. Than I remembered. I remembered hating them at the time, but I already told the story. I've missed 271 to 279. And a lot happened in those. A lot happened in those issues. So I was like lost. So I was just like annoyed and pissed off. And also that, you know, I was kind of broke at the time too. So I think I was missing. So I finally bought the ones that I was missing. They were excellent. These were excellent. Like in my memory, Sue was pursuing Submariner, even though she thought Reed Richards was still alive. He was missing, and it just bothered me. But when I reread it, she was like, "Stop! Leave me alone!" Smacking his hand, "Leave me alone!" And he was pursuing her. So that's good. This is excellent. This is excellent. This is American Bliss. This is by Dave Brink. This is a Genuine Comics. You can go to Genuine Comics website and buy these. This is excellent. This is how you make a comic. You know, I can't believe a European, a Dutchman, is making American superhero comics better than Americans. Yeah, I forgot the thing wore a mask after the Wolverine cut his face. Yeah, and then they just unceremoniously heal him. You know, Franklin was turned into an adult Psylord, and then they unceremoniously make him a kid again. You know, at the end, it was like, okay, Tom DeFalco's leaving. Let's restore the status quo. Yeah, I like the Superman for yeah, that was the reprint. Yeah, that was originally a big Treasury edition comic. Do you keep comics you hate? Yeah, I you know, yes, I do. I'm like a black hole. What comic books just end up in my collection and they never move on. You know, I joke that my wife will have to deal with my comics after I'm gone. I'm trying to think if I've ever sold a comic. I've never traded, and I've given away a few comics if I had a lot of copies, or sometimes I just gave a comic to somebody I know really wanted one, then I bought, you know, rebought it if it was my only one. But I don't sell, and even if I hate them, they're in my collection. Crossworlds, this was excellent. This was really good. These are all Genuine Comics. These were really good. So this is like a team to kind of like a damage control. They show up after the superheroes leave and fix everything. This is Man Devil. You know, he's just like a horny superhero. And this is American Bliss. I think this is her first appearance. Oh, who's messaging me? Okay. People got to message me while I go live. And again, people, come on in. Drama free. Old Dirty Fatty. What we've learned, John, get to buy the first issue of comic book, and he has to buy yeah. You ain't wrong. I'm trying to think. There's a few comics I was just like, I'm not getting the rest. There's a few, but yeah. If I get in on, so I actively don't look for new comics. I will buy your first comic, you know, if you're a cool guy up from this indie scene, or if it just blows me away. Okay, this is Marshall Strong. These 3 comics over here. These are just 3 variant covers. But this is my buddy Michael. And I'll prove it that we're buddies. Here's proof. Do you see that? Special thanks to John Boer. That's me. This is my friend's characters. So my friend Mike, my friend Michael DeShawn, the one who made this comic, is the guy who taught me Villains Vigilantes, the role-playing game that I've become obsessed with, and we still play. Mike, I think he taught me how to play. I made up a character, and I think he put me through my paces a couple of times, and then I learned how to DM, and that was it. I was the DM. I've been the DM since like 1986, 1985. Yeah, I'm going to say 1984. I've been the DM ever since. And this is Mike's character in my game. And this comic book is one of our adventures. This is my friend Paul's character. This is Magnum. This is Mike's other character, Kid Nemesis. This is my friend Eric's character, Startide. This is Mike's other character, Spartan. Oh, I love this character so much. And this is Mike's nephew's character, Pinpoint, and this is my friend Jimmy's character, Oni. So he made a comic, and of course I bought it. And it's funny because I wrote this comic because I made the adventure that this comic book is based on. Look at this cover. That is so cool. So this is Thunder Zone. This is a 6-issue series. Dan Sen of Argo Comics puts these out under his Thunder Zone imprint. And when all 6 are done and complete, if I'm still making comics, I wanna redo these under Longbox Comics, clean up a little bit of continuity stuff, because Mike changed a few things, not knowing that I was going to change a few things to because what works in a game not necessarily works in a comic book, because whatever. So I changed a few things, and he didn't know that. So we gotta just change a few words in the word blue. No problem. This was Ajax: The Awakening, another comic from Genuine Comics. Oh, I gotta bag and board these. So bag and board. Oh, do I ever get comics slabbed? No, I do not. I philosophically opposed to slabbing comics, because once you slab a comic, it is no longer a comic book. It is a big plastic trading card. You can't open it up and look at the ads. You don't see the letters page. You don't see the newsprint. It's not a comic book anymore. To the point I used to argue with people about it, and then I realized I was just being a jerk. Follow your bliss. Your bliss is to get comics slabbed or whatever. But at the same time, when it's time to sell my comics, for whatever reason, maybe I will slab like some key issues, because we're talking, I could get $1,000 for Avengers #4. I get it slabbed, I could probably get 10 grand for it. So I don't know, but I will say this: I'm gonna get one of every cover of Heroic Tale slabbed for me, because I think we can all understand that's, to me, is a token or a memento. I'm gonna put one of each cover in my collection, and I'm gonna have one of each cover slabbed, just for keepsakes. And then I might slab like 5 of each cover, and then put them on eBay. I know this is crude, but I got to recoup some of the money somehow. And if I could, Heroic Tales 9.9, and somebody wants to bid lots of monies on it, that'll just help me with issue 2. I always wanted to try Dave Brink's books, but I just recently returned to buying crowdfunded books, starting with your book and Von Coleman's. Yeah, you could go to Genuine Comics and just buy them. I think they're like $4.99. It's you could crowdfund Perfect 10 #5 right now, but you could get this. You could get all of these comics that I just showed you on his website. The only comic you can't get is Earthling. He said it didn't sell well enough, and he sold out, and that's the end of it. So it's driving me crazy, because I have Earthling #4, and I can't read it because it's Earthling #4. I got to get Earthling #1. I looked on eBay. So these are the Elemental comics. I had them out of the bag because I was showing them off. True. Okay. Oh, you're saying true about the slab? Hell, hope you're having a blessed day. Good luck on the close. Thank you, Zachton. Thank you. Now I can rest easy. Does the Patriarch space travel? Not on his own ability. He has no abilities that would enable him to survive in space. So he could fly to space and then die. He needs to breathe, so he can't space travel unaided. Now, he's been, I don't want to spoil other stories, but there will be stories of space adventure. So somewhere down the line, he does space travel, but he's not Superman. He's nowhere near Superman. He can't survive in space. $4.99. Yeah, that's a good deal. Unfortunately, you're going to spend a lot on like here's 2 copies. Unfortunately, you're going to spend a lot of money on shipping because Genuine Comics comes from the Netherlands. So do it. I just buy them all in one shot, so you don't have to deal with the shipping. And I think you could go to the crowdfunding and get like everything. This is the Villain Vigilante rulebook game that I keep talking about. I'm gonna put this over here because that wasn't supposed to be in this big board. $4.90. That's a good. Okay. All right. Okay. I thought there was another comment that I'm missing. So, what do you guys think? Do you enjoy bagging and boarding comics? Oh my god, I love this. I dated a girl before my wife, and she used to just say that I love my comic books more than her because I'm showing you this. What is this? This is the script. I printed out the script. I'm such an old man. I printed out the script for Heroic Tales #1, the Daddy's Home. That's the patriarch story. I had to print this out so I could actually rewrite on the paper. I can't do it on digital. But what do you guys do? You guys like bagging and boarding comics? Is it relaxing to you? Oh man, I love. Oh yeah, Master Hobo, bagging and boarding can be relaxing. I love it. I love bagging and boarding comics. Sometimes my wife will sit right there and I'll just put a big stack of comics on the table and just bag. I can't wait till I get, I don't know how many copies of Heroic Tales #1. I'm probably gonna get like over 1,000 of all the, because I got 4 covers, then I got that black and white edition, and I got the front covers, the back cover edition. So I'm gonna have like 6. So I'm gonna have over 1,000 comics to bag and board. I'll do that. I'll just sit there, bag and board, put them in stacks. That'll be relaxing and fun to me. Patriarch in space. Come on, man. We are gonna have a superhero story where you don't go to space. Not right away. Because I need the tension to escalate. Because if I start out issue #1 with the biggest threat ever, where do you go from that? So the tension is going to escalate. I keep looking for a VV copy, but those I find, you go right to Fantasy Games Unlimited. The Fantasy Games Unlimited webpage, you can buy them for like $10. Fantasy Games Unlimited is the I forget what it is, but Google Fantasy Games Unlimited, go to their store, and you could get like a PDF for nothing, but you could get a physical book for $10, I think. I like to board them, but I let them stack and board them. Yeah, me too. I like to do that too. So we got Fantastic Four. I love bagging and boarding, especially when they look better. Yeah, they do. They do. John, I read my copy of Silver Surfer Parable again today. Really, really good commentary story. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't read it. I remember. Are you guys weirdos like me that you remember where you were when you read a comic? I remember we had a room in the basement, and that room in the basement was always the oldest brother in the house's room. So when we I'm one of 7 kids. We had a basement just like this with these poles over here. Can you see how I got? Here's my basement. Can you see these poles and everything? So we had a basement like set up like this with those poles, and it was musty. But I set up dehumidifiers down here so it's not musty. But my parents' house was kind of musty, and oh, there we go. That's better. So they sectioned off part of it and made a bedroom, and that was my older brother Joe's room. And then when Joe moved out, it was my older brother James's room, and then eventually it became my room. And then when I moved out, it was Mike's room. So that room always was the older brother's room, and my 3 sisters never had that room. But I remember laying in that bed reading that Silver Surfer Parable comic. I that's one of the things I reminisce about, is where I was when I read it, where I was when I bought it. If your book could do a crossover with any what character? Funny you should ask. Funny you should ask, because issue 2 has a crossover with well, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 different other comic books, but it ain't a crossover. I'm being vague on purpose. But if you know me and you know my friends, you know who I'm crossing over with. But it didn't really happen. Vagueness on purpose. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll say 4 other creators. I'm crossing over with 4 other creators in issue number 2, the Patriarch. So, and if you know who I'm friendly with, you know who I'm crossing over with. But at the same time, it never happened. And no, it's not, multiverse stuff either. Oh, I already saw that. I read my copy of Amazing Spider-Man 252 riding home on my bus from my local comic shop in Bayside, Queens. I was a junior high school. I love that. Yeah. I remember so many times getting my comic books, and then being a fat kid, I would get my comics and then go to Burger King, get my food, and then sit in my car, eat my Whopper. I love that. I love that. Hyperstorm. How terrible is this cover? Reed returns. And I remember thinking they did my boy Reed bad in this cover, but they didn't. They, he was he was imprisoned like in the past by himself. He was like the only human on Earth in the past. So he was in a solitary confinement, even though he wasn't in a jail. He was like roaming around, like making tools out of smelted iron and stuff like that. So yeah, he would, fighting off bigger monsters and stuff like that, or mammals. So yeah, I think he was in the age of the mammals. Was it the Pleistocene era? And you would come back damaged after months and months and months of that. So as an adult, I liked it better than I did as a kid. These were, like I said, these were a lot better than the first time I read them. Oh, the tape came off this one. I gotta fix it. Oh, this is, I gotta show you this. So I gotta get this type of tape, clear Scotch, and it has to be like this. Okay, has to be like that. So I haven't. Has to be this tape. Has to be this type of tape. Okay. Yep. I'm out of my mind. My first comic I ever read was a newspaper reprint of Amazing Spider-Man 7, I think, the second appearance of the Vulture. Yeah, were they like the New York Times, I think? How long ago? What year was that? I think I remember those. Everyone loves the Adjective Spider-Man. These are like Shaggy Dog stories. Like, they don't mean anything, but they're kind of fun. This is Cyclops. Like, it just shows you how crazy Marvel got. Like, time-traveling teenage X-Men. They get pulled from the past, now they're in the future. So it's the original X-Men as like 16-year-olds, and he's off in space with his father, Corsair. So it's like another version of Cyclops. To me, that's an admittance that they made a mistake, that they needed to get like the old version and start again. I mean, once you get past that, these comics aren't that bad. It's like Space Pirates. It's not that bad. Oh, and then these are Waiting Here for Kelsey. These are the next two Beard one comic series. Sorry, put them back. But this is and then the Fiend Folio. So this is by literally the last batch of comics that I read since the last time I read. Yeah, I think I have those. That were they the Daily News? Was it the Daily News? Was the Daily News? I was 9 years old when I got it. Okay. So I'm going to do that just because I can't stand having this myself so big. So does anybody want to come in and join me? Anybody want to come in? You know, I don't bite. I don't bite. Oh, Vampire Hunter. That's a new name. How you doing? How you doing? When I was a kid, I had to take a 6-hour bus to see my uncle. She gave me some X-Men flip book comics. I was fascinated by the story of Wolverine and Ghost Rider. Oh, wow. That is cool. Yeah. Yeah. I remember every summer we would drive up to my grandfather's house. I was in Long Island and he was up in Palinville, which was like by the Hunter Mountain. It was like a 5 to 6 hour drive, but like 4 hours as fast as my dad drove. And I would just sit in the back and read comics. And then I would bring a big stack because there was nothing to do. It was, this was the 70s, way upstate in Bear Country, New York. There was no cable TV. They had a black and white, regular TV that like only NBC, CBS, and ABC came in. So Channel 7, Channel 2, and Channel 4. And that was it. So at night, I just read comics over and over and over again. I would like plan what did I really, because that was my entertainment. Once it got dark, you didn't want to go outside. There was bears, The Daily News, yeah, I got those. And I bagged and boarded them, and they're in my collection. Yeah, those were good. I think I got I'm pretty sure I got all of them. I hold on to them. Those are actually pretty collectible. My mom just grabbed the usual bundles of newspapers. She gave me the comic because it was, not the newspaper. Yep. My dad would take me to Forbidden Planet Manhattan, the New York City mecca of comics. He bought me the last 3 copies of Secret Wars and my copy of Rom Space once, since I didn't have it, but I had many. Yeah, Rom is good. Rom is a good comic. Logic, you want to come in and talk about John Byrne? Anybody? Anybody? I've been talking for almost an hour already. Just curious to see who else is streaming right now. So I'm just looking to see who else is streaming. Master Swag, Sean Davis, Joe Sontag. Okay. Matt, you in the audience? Matt, you want to come in? Just bring this up again. This is the reason why I'm streaming, because I got 21 hours left, 50 backers. I have to say thank you to everybody. So the Indiegogo is going to have another trailer. It's going to have a different cover. Let me see. Let me see if I can spoil the cover. Let me see. John, I've been on and off the grill all day. I'm tired. Okay. Grill, you like grilling? You've been grilling? Funny thing is, I'm a DC fanboy. My first comic was a Marvel comic. Yeah. All right, so I think I'm gonna round this up at an hour. Just trying to look at see if I have something that I can spoil. It seems like I always spoil things, but I like it. Oh, I got nope, I didn't download the picture. I guess I can't spoil it. Oh well. Can't spoil what I don't have. My daughter just asked me to relight. What did you make? What did you make? You're in Queens. You ever go to I just went, my sister brought me over some Janowski's hamburgers. I love them. You ever get from Rockville Center, Janowski's? Let's see. Let's see. Can I spoil this? I'm trying to figure out if I can. Man, I am so bad when it comes to computers. Okay. I know nobody's looking, nobody can see it yet, but okay. Now I can do it. Okay. I'll close this, close this, close this, and stop that. And I will share this. And okay, let's DC. I was waiting for you, DC Miller. So yes, you're just in time for spoilers. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil the undressed cover variant cover. Okay, I think I showed it once before, but I don't think I showed it color. Rockville Center's cool. Haven't been to the mall out there in years. All right, so this is the third and final variant. So altogether, there's 4 covers. You know, there's the Renzo cover, there's the Pat Broderick cover that you saw on Fund My Comic, there's the Michael T. Gilbert cover that you saw on Kickstarter, which is available now, and then Friday, this cover will be available on that's weird. I just saw that cursor and I started to panic a little bit. On Indiegogo. So here we got, this is Michael Gustovich. This is the Michael Gustovich cover. So what do you think about that? So I'm kind of confused. Should I put Heroic Tales down the side or on the bottom? Because I don't want to put it on the top. Shrink the title logo, put it on. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Although I really am tempted to put it sideways on the left. You know, or put it on the bottom. You know, but there you go. There's the bad guy. I'm not telling you his name. You know, when Mike Gustovich read the script, he's like, I'm drawing the bad guy. He loved the bad guy. So he's like, I'm drawing him. Everybody else drew the robotic ants, but he wanted to draw the bad guy. And I was like, okay, well then I got to put your comic as the last. Put it on the bottom. Put it on the bottom. That's 2 people on the bottom. It's weird how my cursor is going around. So there you go. There's the spoiler. So there you go. I love the way he draws it. Get your layout type to try the side logo. So you're saying the side looks awesome. Planning to get all the covers. There's room in the bottom left corner or along the bottom. Yeah, along the bottom. I was well, that's not what I wanted to do. That's definitely not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. You know, I was thinking of putting a logo like this on the edge. Don't cut off any of the characters. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely don't cut off. Beautiful. Look at the colors. Look at the colors on that. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Daniel is so good with the colors. So this is Mike Gustovich. Mike Gustovich is the same man who created the Justice Machine. So if you guys have watched my Comics Great, where I talked about the Elementals, and we talked about Mike Gustovich, you know, he's the one who created the Justice Machine. Hey, J-Bot's here. Hey, J-Bot, how you doing? Again, if anybody wants to come in and we could talk comics, so I'm not by myself. Those colors are great. Thank you. Thank you. This is the last and final variant cover for Heroic Tales #1. This will be on Indiegogo. And then when that closes, so I'm hoping, because that's going to last for 2 months, so that'll be September, October. So by the time Indiegogo closes down, I'm hoping to already be shipping. So, you know, So that this is gonna be it's go to. I just all of a sudden got flabbergasted about how soon everything is, how fast everything's happening. So maybe I'll say the Indiegogo. I'll give myself another month. You know what I mean? Just in case there's a problem. But there you go. Uh, I'm I'm going to print everything up now. So there shouldn't be a problem unless a billion people want this cover and I didn't print up enough. Maybe I should make it a virgin cover. I don't want to make 8 million variant covers. The problem is, I got to pay for the pre-press guy. I got to pay for the cover dress. So, each, if 100 people want this, that's one story. Like that black and white edition, I got to pay for a pre-press guy to do it in black and white. So that's whatever. Give people what they want. But Heroic Tales #2, like I've been telling people, it's going to be. Yeah, I'm going to make this big. Heroic Tales #2 is going to be a flip book. So, issue #1, it's going to say Cyclops, whatever, and then you're going to flip it over, and it's going to say so this will say the Patriarch, and it'll have the Patriarch cover. And then when you flip it over, it's going to have Mary Sue, and I'm going to have Renzo. Renzo is going to do the Patriarch, flip it over, Mary Sue. And then the variant edition, it's going to have Jose Garcia doing the Patriarch, and then you flip it over, it's going to have Josh Howard doing Mary Sue, and that's it. That's the only two variants. I'm stripping it down even more. Stripping it down to a simple campaign. But I will have the coins again, and I'm going to put in an order for these coins right away. Oh, and I forgot to tell you this. Just because I thought it was fun. I'm sure people have seen these already, but I got stickers made up. So I'm going to put stickers in everybody's order. So everybody will get a Heroic Tales sticker and a Patriarch sticker. No, it's not going to be a pop-up book. A pop-up book is you open it up and it's three-dimensional. No, a flip book is there's going to be a cover on both sides. So, and then, if you like the Patriarch story, you could put the Mary Sue in the back of the bag. If you like Mary Sue, you could put the Patriarch in the back of the bag, or you could buy two and flip them around. So that's what we're gonna do, because this is a lot of money. I mean, I did over 7,000, which is awesome, but that's about breaking even. I made mistakes, guys. I hired people I shouldn't have hired. I wasted money on other fancy stuff that just didn't pan out. I did a lot of things, but now I got it all down to the people that I want to work with. Nice, like the old Marvel Comics presents. Excellent. Thank you for yes, you remember. Yes, and a couple of Image Comics doing. I got the idea because why can't I think of his name? Tim Seeley, who does Hack and Slash. He's doing a comic called Local Man now, and he's doing a flip book. It's pretty clever because one side is right now set in 2024, and then you flip it over, it's set in the 90s. So that's where I got the idea from. Use a lot. It's a learning absolutely, it's a learning process. So issue #2, I'm gonna try to cut the expenses down by at least a third. Getting 3 legends to do 3 covers is quite pricey. But how often do you get a chance to make your first comic book? So I wanted, I don't care. Like I said, I spent all that money. All this money that I'm collecting now is for issue #2, and looks we're doing pretty good. I'm not worried. We're already 7 pages in. 7 pages in. Jose Garcia already finished and colored his cover for the Patriarch story, and Josh is in the process of coloring, of doing his. So there you go. I showed you Josh's cover, right? Not Josh's cover. I showed you. Did it? Where is it? I showed Jose's cover. I thought I did. Did I? Got to go big for the first issue. Yeah. First step is to cut corner. Circular comics is so much more efficient. That's pretty funny. I'm not cutting corners. I'm just being more efficient. You know, cutting when I had my pizzeria, the owner Tom, he started getting cheaper and cheaper with the ingredients, and with food you can't do that. You can't do that with food. So people started to notice. You know what I mean? So that was a problem. So he was cutting corners. You can't cut corners like that. So I'm being more efficient. There you go. Not cutting corners. Uh, okay. Okay. Here we go. So I'm gonna. It's not a spoiler if I already share, but I'm gonna share this because I just want to share this. Okay, so this is the cover for. This is the variant cover for Heroic Tales #2. So you see, we're already working on it. We're already working on it. This is by Jose Garcia. Jose Garcia has an active campaign right now called Immortal Rising. And he's a good guy, man. Talented guy. So, he said he was asking for commissions for, his mother was sick in the hospital. So I was like, hey, you want to do your variant cover? He was like, yeah, I'll do it right now. Boom. And he was so quick. And he colored it, just everything. To be fair, your comic is looking better than most indie stuff. Thank you. I'm I don't know what to say. I was going to say something arrogant, but I don't want to be arrogant. Your next book should be Renzo writing and you draw. Let's destroy all the good. Renzo could probably write because he's a good storyteller. I'll give him a script and he'll be like, let's do it like this. So he's working on his own stuff too. He's got his own creator own stuff. So I'm the weak link here. I can't draw. I've shown some of my drawing, right? It's just abominations. It's cool. You learn as you go. I'm sure issue 2 will make more than issue 1. Yeah. And see, I was thinking that too. And I was telling she was like, how many are you going to print up? And I told her, I want to print up more than I need because of that, because I think I said that to everybody else. Could I get, when I see somebody comes on my channel, I'm like, could I still get issue #1? And they're like, no, that's gone. I'm like, well, why would I get #2? Because I know I'm a pain in the neck. You guys want look at my crazy hair. You guys want full runs. I don't want full runs. So I know there are a lot of people who've been burnt by crowdfunding. I know that. I also know I've never done a campaign before. So there's people who have never been burnt there, so they're waiting. They never saw me deliver. They don't know if the comic's going to be any good. So there's people waiting. And then issue #2, people are like, wow, this guy did it. The comic's good. The comic looks good. It was on time. He's not a grifter or whatever the current tourist or whatever cool word people use. So I'm gonna back issue #2, and then as an add-on, I'll throw issue #1, and then after issue #2, I'll probably start going right into issue #3, and then I might have a companion book. Eddie is Doomed. I don't know if Eddie is Doomed is going to be its own campaign, or if it'll be an add-on to every other campaign. I don't know yet. I don't know. Exactly. I always want to read from the beginning. Also, every issue is going to be self-contained. You don't need issue 1 if you start at issue 2. But the payoff is better if you get issue #1. You know what I mean? Because you don't need Spider-Man 147 to read Spider-Man 149. It's episodic storytelling, but it'll build. There's going to be clues, right away on the first page of not the first panel, but the first page, there's already little things that may or may not, well, they will mean stuff later on. That, so when when the reveal comes, you're gonna be like, okay, well, oh, okay, I had issue number one, and I also would like letters pages. So if you email me at heroicmails@yahoo.com, write a letter about fathers, about comics, about why you like my channel, why you hate my channel, why you want to punch me in the face. I'll put them in the letters page. I want to bring back letters pages. Letters pages were made for cynical reasons. They were made because the comic books needed 2 pages of text without advertisements, without pictures, so that they could qualify as a magazine. And once they qualified as a magazine, they got a cheaper shipping rate. So to ship them from the printers and distributors to the local newsstands, it would be cheaper. So they would make these silly texts or historical facts or whatever. And then somebody got the bright idea, if they just printed these letters, it was easier. So it was a cynical maneuver, but it was brilliant because you got your letters pages. There were discussions. People talked about what they liked about the comics, what they didn't like. And I hate this word, but it fostered a sense of community in the comic book world. It was important. It was fun. And you look forward to other people's letters. This is another reason why I don't like slabbing comics, because that whole aspect of comic book collecting is lost when you slab comics. And when you buy the omnibuses, you don't get the letters pages. I think you do in a facsimile edition, but I don't buy facsimile editions because odds are I have those comics anyway. So I want to bring that back. That is important. And it sounds goofy right now, but like Israel Garcia has a letter written in Heroic Tales #1, and then somebody responds to it in issue #2, and it's like I mean, now with chats like we have right over here, like we got these chats that I could just bring up. This is more immediate, but there's a little bit to be said for a little, denied gratification. Like this. We all know that immediate gratification is nice, but delayed gratification. There's something to be said for that too. Again, anybody want to come in? I'm kind of done begging about comics. I'm kind of done showing off all the spoilers that I could show. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll find something else that I could spoil. Yeah, I'll give you guys something that has never been spoiled before. I don't spoil that. That's too much. But just another page that nobody's ever seen before. Okay, no, I don't want to spoil that. That won't make sense. What else can I spoil? What else? Is there another page? Is there another page that I can... Okay, I could show this page. Yeah, there we go. I want to show you something, but I don't want to ruin the comic. Yes, Jose Garcia Lopez. Yes, did I say it wrong? I'll be super embarrassed if I said his name wrong. Yeah, he's doing Immortal Rising. He did the cover. He's such a good guy, so quick. When you write a letter, you can expand in subjects and reflect. Yes, and you think about it, and it and it's just fun. The stream is now a spoiler stream. Yes. So here we go. I'm gonna spoil another page in Heroic Tales. Why isn't it working? Oh, okay, I got to click the button. So here we go. I'll make this big. So here's another page. Of course, it's not lettered yet. The page is going to get lettered tomorrow. But this is the patriarch. What is he doing? He's trying to go home, and he's scanning at the last minute for any more threats. So who is asking about the patriarch in space? This is why I was hesitating about showing, because you see him, he's holding his breath, and he's still within the oxygen bubble of the Earth, and he's flying using his shields to protect himself, but he's not quite in space. He's still in the weak atmosphere of space, and he's holding his breath, so he's got to deal with it. He's got to deal with the problem fast before it overcomes him. So there you go. I can't good conscious spoil anymore. So you guys got an extra page. Everything's quiet, too quiet. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to talk about unless somebody wants to pop in. Looks like the chat is ending. So I think I'm going to end now. It's 11:22 in New York. No, he can't survive in space. He can't survive in space. He doesn't have any abilities that would let him survive in space. He could protect himself underwater a little better than he could protect himself in space. But he can't breathe underwater. He's not Superman, so he's vastly weaker. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything else. I don't have anything else to spoil. The only things left I have to spoil are things everybody's already seen. Yeah, there's nothing else to spoil. Yeah, I'm trying to look to see. There's nothing else I can spoil. I've shown this before, but you've seen it already, so it's not. Right? I've shown this before. It's Robot Gorilla is the name of this character. He is part of Eddie is Doomed, the side comic that I'm working on. So let's talk Secret Wars. What do you want to talk about? The original. And I agree with you. I agree. Although the 2015 Secret Wars, that was like at the end of that was the end of my Marvel comics. I quit comics in 2015, and I bought that run just because they were like $1 each. It was like $10 for the whole thing or something like that. So I bought it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But yes, the original Secret Wars is the Secret Wars. I agree with you, and I can't wait for Kelsey to rise out of the swamps so we could do Two Beards, One Comic again and go back to that, because it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. And yes, it's Jim Shooter's masterpiece. The only thing we have to spoil is spoilage itself. Yeah, I can't spoil anything else because there's nothing else to spoil. No, there's not an echo because there's a big table on it, and I always photograph it. When I walk in, I always show it, but behind me, it's just piles and piles of board games. So there's no echo. Very cool. I haven't looked at any of the cheap knockoff stuff. What cheap knockoff stuff? The other, yeah, there's 2 other Secret Wars. To summon Kelsey, make a circle of candles, put a 6. Oh, yeah, there you go. 6-foot circle and put some Cajun food. He's dealing with personal stuff in his house, in his family. Kelsey is always disappearing, but will return when the world needs him. Yes, he is below in the swamps, regenerating and no, he's doing a lot of work. When he does a lot of work, he tends to sequester himself. Secret Wars was amazing. Didn't accept Galactus get booze. There's a couple of things I didn't accept. I mean, we're talking. Oh, that Secret Wars, the Secret Wars 2. Then there was another Secret Wars, like the Nick Fury spy one. And then there was the final Secret Wars one by Jonathan Hickman. So we're talking about the original Secret Wars. The thing that I didn't buy was that you could steal Beyonder's power. You know, it's like you can't steal a bird's ability to fly. Like, it's just part of being a bird. Like, to steal the Beyonder's power, you become the Beyonder. You know what I mean? Like the Beyonder isn't just a vastly superpowered superhuman. The Beyonder is supposed to be like beyond us. You know, literally, it's in his name. So for Doom to steal the Beyonder's power, or even Galactus, you would have to evolve beyond human desires. You know what I mean? You would become Galactus. You'd become the Beyonder. So that to me is the biggest flaw in it. Jim Shooter's masterpiece was The Death of Pharaoh Lad. That was a good one. Yes. Dr. Doom taking the Beyonder is a top level move. Then the Beyonder using Claude to get his power back was amazing. Othello punching Shakespeare in the face. Iago. I always liked Iago. Why did you do it? And I'm not telling you. I love that. Best motivation in literature. Why'd you do it? I'm not telling you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Curtains down. All right, guys, I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. So, Heroic Tales, 20 hours to go. Oh, we got another backer while the stream was live. Thank you to whoever you are, whoever you may be, whoever you will be. Thank you so much. Again, I'm going to have another comic on Indiegogo, and I already spoiled the cover. The only thing we're working on is the cover dress. I'll talk to Nick tomorrow. We're always at different times, so we'll see. Nick is doing the cover dress. Nick Axe. He's also drawing Crom the Destroyer. What about when Thanos became Eternity in the... Did he? I don't remember. Yeah. Like, the way I look at things is like, these cosmic level beings aren't just humans with vast powers. Like, they are beyond human. So, like, if you can't steal Eternity's power, that's like stealing... I don't know. That's like stealing who you are. You know, like, the Beyonder is power. So to steal the Beyonder's power is stealing the Beyonder, you know? So, like, you steal the Beyonder's power, you're the Beyonder. Like, you're just a human. Like it or not, Dr. Doom, you're just... Look at it this way. Okay. So you are a glass of water. So you're a glass of water, and you're an intelligent glass of water, and you're going to steal the ocean. You're now the ocean. You're not, you know what I mean? That glass of water is lost in the ocean. That glass of water's wants and desires are lost in the ocean. That's what it should be when you steal the Beyonder's power. I accepted it with Silver Surfer because the Silver Surfer was originally a human. So Doom stealing the Silver Surfer's power, I bought that because the Silver Surfer is a superhuman. Granted, he's been given vast power cosmic, but Norrin Radd was a human, even though he was from Zembla. And then when Dr. Doom, they always say he stole a fraction of the Watcher's ability, a fraction. But to steal the Beyonder's power, it's like Doom should have been lost in the fury of the Beyonder. Do you have comics? Do you have ideas for comics? As a kid, did I have ideas for comics? Oh, yeah. They were terrible. My very first comic that somebody's going to clip this and make me look bad. But I had an idea for a comic called The Executioners. And the Executioners was like Axe was one of them, and Sword, and like they were literally named after their execution weapons, and they wore hoods. So there was like 6 or 7 of them. And when I'm drawing them, people are like, "You can't draw this." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, It looks like the Ku Klux Klan. One guy with a rope, one guy with an axe. What, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what's the Ku Klux Klan? But they were these guys with executioner hoods, but I didn't color it in. You know, I was drawn in pencil, so it just looked like the Ku. So I was like, "There's you. Good thing I didn't make that comic." Good luck with pulling. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. That's really nice. That really, really, and I say this all the time. I'm saying it to my wife today, that my channel has been nothing but a pleasure. The only time I ever get aggravated is when I go reach out and then like I get sucked into other people's drama. I think you know what I'm talking about. That was like, you know, pretty hurtful. What the hell did I do? You invite me on your channel, you invite me to promote you, and then when I ask to promote you, you look at you, why'd you invite me? Just to attack me? Whatever. When using Dr. Doom's own ego against it was a foreshadowing of the Infinity Gauntlet with Thanos beating himself. Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, that was Thanos's big weakness, was his own self-loathing and insecurities. Dr. Doom, just a human. Speak for yourself. I like that. John, I get they aren't gods. The Beyonders had vast power, but he wasn't a god. So he's not something that we can't know. See, this is a philosophical debate. You know, is he a god? Like, is he not a god? What is a god? Is a god just a term? I don't know. But this is the fun kind of drama debates. This is the kind of debates I like. This is the fun kind of, you know, who would win thing of. But that is fun. That is absolutely a fun argument to make. So, but until you come on my channel, I win. How's that? I just pulled a trump card. How's that? I always figured that with all superheroes, their abilities is just an expression of their soul. That's a good point. Okay. Wouldn't it be great to rewrite that kid's idea fix? Yeah, that's what Rob Liefeld did, like Cable and Youngblood. These were all his kids' superheroes. Eric Larson, all the superheroes in The Savage Dragon were his kid ideas. And then he has like a multiverse story where he meets them as he made them up as a kid. It was actually kind of charming a little bit. And I got to say, my superhero role-playing game, we had an adventure because we made up characters when we were little kids, and then I went away to college, and I came back in 2000. In 2000, we all made up new characters and started playing again. So, but somewhere around 2015, 2016, there was an adventure where they got to meet all of their characters from when we were little kids, and they got to replay their kid adventures and finish their stories. That was so satisfying. That was so fun. My friend Jimmy, he actually said thank you for letting me finish my character from childhood. That was a lot of fun. And no, we can't use them in my comic books because they're all blatant ripoff of existing superheroes. Doom was almost lost in the will of beyond his power. Yep, being exposed to that amount of sensory input with the power to alter almost. Yeah, you have to focus. But my point is he can't focus. You know, it's like a microbe. It's like a microbe downloading, you know, the extent of the internet. It just can't do it. That's my thinking. Doom is just a human. In order to absorb everything of the Beyonder, it would wreck him. That was really, even as a kid, I was like, Doom can't become. You can't just steal the Beyonder's power, you know, but for the purposes of the story, you can. Challenge accepted. Next chance I get, I'm coming on. We'll debate the Beyonder right after we first. Absolutely. This is exactly what I want to do. Want to talk. I keep saying I'm going to leave, but more and more people are showing up. Does anybody want to come in? J-Bot, you want to come in? Where are you, J-Bot? Brian Bauer, are you still in the laying in bed? Yeah, put your camera on, lay in bed. In your mummy position. Yeah. So here is the invite for anybody who wants to come in and talk. Let me just gonna go grab another soda because it looks like you guys want me to keep talking, so I'm gonna need more caffeine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, everybody? Can you hear me? I'm just gonna get one thing. It's across the room. I'm just gonna get it to show this off. I just opened this box today. I'm going to keep talking. Okay, I'm back. I just went up to the front of my room. I got these stacks. Okay. I might as well show these off since. All right. So let's get back here. Who is stronger, the Beyonder or Mixelplick? Huh. I don't know. I would say I don't know. I like the Beyonder better, and I can't stand Mixelplick, so I'll say the Beyonder, and I base that on nothing logical. But how's that for an answer? Doom would try to compensate, maybe make something that expands his mind or makes it. Yeah, but then he's not Doom anymore. Then he's not Doom. If you change the parameters of his mind, you know what I mean? Like the brain has wiggles and lumps and synapses in it, and it's those shapes and the currents and the paths that cause our thoughts. If Doom was to expand his mind, his thoughts and patterns change, his personality changes, the way he thinks changes, his persona of Doom changes. I have to go check the grill again. Okay. How do you like your burgers? Medium well. John has a broken neck and still streaming Brian back because he has the sniff. Dad, I'm not in any pain. And, not in any pain. I told you about the doctor said how bad it was. The combination of tech and dark magic. Well, with magic, anything is possible, right? That's the whole thing of magic. If an ant steals my human powers, is that, or does it become human? It becomes Ant-Man. Becomes Henry Pym. My favorite Marvel godlike being is Mad Jim Jaspers. Who is that? Why do I not know that name? And then you're going to tell me, I'm going to be like, oh yeah. But who's Mad Jim Jaspers? More Doom-like? Okay, so he clones his brain and makes it network. I'd eventually betray Doom. The brain's having Doom's passion for power, but it could work. Yeah. So, here, I'll bring this other camera back over here. What is it called? Okay, so, stop screen, share screen. Oh no, I'm not sharing screen. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, okay, there we go. This, I'm so glad I learned how to do that. Okay, so now we got these books right over here. Oh, Jim Jaspers is, yeah. Wasn't he like naked? Wasn't he like he had a big mustache and he was naked, right? Yeah, kept Alan Moore's. So that, yeah. If that is the guy that I'm thinking of, because I was wondering if I actually did read the Alan Moore's Captain Britain run. So yeah, Jim Jaspers was like right? Didn't he have like a banana hammock on? Right? And he was where's that? Didn't Captain Britain have like a crazy half naked brother? Or maybe I'm misremembering. Okay, so let's get this. Okay, all right, we'll move this over here. All right. So these. John, I think you're projecting yourself into Doctor Doom. Your limits aren't Doctor Doom's limits. So just because he's a being, fast powers doesn't make it a god. I am Doom. Yeah. I'm thinking of Jamie Braddock. Okay. I'm thinking of Jamie Braddock. That's right. So I got to go check to see if I read the Alan Moore. Because this will be like the third time this week that there was brought up. So these are hardcovers. by a company called Simon. Okay, so this is a board game company. So these are hardcover graphic novels about board games. Has anybody ever heard of the game called Android? There's a board game called Android, and then there was a card game called Android Netrunner. And it is a very lore-heavy, very cyberpunk. If you like Blade Runner and stuff like that, it's like that. So I think of Blade Runner, I guess is the best. But so they wrote comics about it, and it was a crowdfund. So I backed all of these. I've got them over a year ago, but just today I finally opened up the box. It's just been sitting there. So I opened it up. I was like, what? I don't remember what, because a friend of mine, my friend Lisa, she loves Simon games. We're both insane about Simon games. And she was like, well, what are these Simon boxes over here? And I'm like, it says comic book extras. So she's like, yeah, well, what is that? I said, let's open them up and find out. And she was like, oh man, she was so jealous. Yeah, so these are comics. So this is a comic book, Run the Citadel, about the board game Android. I haven't played the board game Android yet. That's so good. What does this say? It's rational to think that power could be used to manipulate. Yeah, energy, power can, but I don't know. I think the Beyonder is not just an organism with vast power. He has that vast power because he is the Beyonder. To remove that power is to remove the Beyonder. Then, like I said, if you're just a little droplet and you absorb the ocean, you became the ocean. The Beyonder is his power. And if you're stealing his power, you are stealing the Beyonder. Therefore, you are the Beyonder. Wow, a board game company makes comics. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to keep doing it or not. I don't know how successful they were, but they made a few of these. So this is Zombicide. I love this game, Zombicide. Guys, I wish you'd come over. Logic, you live in New York. Come on over. Let's play a Zombicide. But there's a board game, but it's set in like a fantasy. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons world. There's trolls, there's dwarves, there's elves and stuff. So this is Zombicide. So just imagine it's a Dungeons and Dragons world, and it meets Night of the Living Dead. Now this is what I can't wait to read. Twilight Imperium. Twilight Imperium is probably my favorite game. It's an 8. If we play Twilight Imperium, we are playing for 8 hours. It takes, I'm not joking, between 8 to 12 hours to play a game, and you can play up to 8 people. And oh my god, I love it. I love it. We sit around that big table. I get a plastic table and we set it up. I'll cater it. I'll call like a Qdoba, get like trays of food, sit around, because we'll take breaks. So the problem with Twilight Imperium is if there's a space battle going on and you're not involved, you could be sitting there with nothing to do. So that's when you get up and you get yourself some tacos, you do some poo-poos, and you come back to play. But oh my god, I can't wait. The lore is so good. So each turn of Twilight Imperium is a Star Wars movie. That's so it's, and when you're done playing Twilight Imperium, you're telling your friends a story, an epic story. Like you're telling all 3 Star Wars movies, because we all know there's only 3 Star Wars movies. Vampire Hunter, yeah, it is interesting. You talk about these. Yeah, we have to have. Yeah. I'm not blowing you off. I just was like, I guess I'm still staying live, so I got to find something to talk about. Yeah, come on, Logic. This is that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Eric July or EVS or John Dellera. I don't want to talk about the, I want to talk about comic books. I wanted to play Arabit like 15 years. Yeah, Arabit, for those who don't know, is is the same company that did Vampire the Masquerade. That game, they made a superhero book called Aberrant. We made up characters, but we never actually played. Isn't the Beyonder a sentient cosmic cube? Yes. Right? Is that still the current continuity? The Beyonder isn't an organic being. The Beyonder isn't his power. He isn't a god. He's a being that uses power, but that power can be taken. The better question is, does he generate or use power? So is eternity, if you take eternity's power, what is eternity? Just a little shrimp in the corner? It used to be eternity, If you take eternity's power, aren't you therefore by definition eternity? What makes the Beyonder the Beyonder? Is the Beyonder because he's powerful, or is he the Beyonder despite the fact that he has power? Balls back in your court there, logic's finest. If he's using power, then his power can be taken. If he's self-generating his power, then that method of self-generation can also be copied or taken. Self-generation. My apologies. So this is a comic set in the Twilight Imperium world. And then, as if it wasn't enough, Firmament, 2 books set in the Twilight Imperium world. I can't wait. These are so, I can't wait. I can't wait. And then Zombicide, Dead in the Water. So this is Zombicide, but set in, the present day. So this is just like, it's like Walking Dead, except the survivors are just ass kickers. This is such a fun game. Has anybody played Zombicide? Has anybody played Twilight Imperium? So far, the only game in of these books I have, the board game of Android. I might as well put it on top while I'm talking. I have this board game. I haven't played it, but this game is you're a detective, and you could use like detective methods, or you could use like strong arm methods to solve a mystery. And so that I think you need at least 3 people to play. So there's 3 people and some non-player character. And keep in mind, it's a board game. So a non-player character is the bad guy. And what you're doing is solving the crimes. And the way, if you use shady underhand tactics, it influences the game this way. But he's also doing, if you use good tactics or shady tactics, the game gets influential. Cards get winnowed out. And then you're putting the blame on somebody who may or may not be the criminal. And if you're a good guy, you'll lose the game if you do that. But if you're a bad guy, you'll win the game. So I haven't played it yet, but I think it's easier to win as a bad guy. I can't wait to play it. But it's like they say it's like a 6-hour board game, and most people don't have time to do that. What is the sound of one-handed clapping? I thought Lisa Simpson solved that. This is the sound of one-handed clapping. The Beyonder isn't a god. He doesn't create reality itself. He exists within the universe. No, he exists beyond the universe. That's why he's the Beyonder. And his powers have limits. Which limits? What limits were on his powers? Which directly implies his powers limits can be taken, replicated. I didn't see any limits on his power. The only limits on his power is when he limited himself. Is Zombicide Invader? This is Zombicide, but it's set in the future. So think of Aliens. So think of one of the movies, Aliens. So you're all the military, and you're just fighting hordes and hordes of aliens who may or may not be undead aliens. It's so. If you really like to kick ass, this is the version to play, because you got high tech, machine. You got high tech equipment. In this edition, you got handguns and crowbars and stuff like that. So it's real tough to fight aliens. In this, you're fighting and just ripping apart aliens, but they compensate it by making tougher and tougher aliens. So it's 50 of one, half dozen of another. Beyonder was bored and wanted to play Hero Clicks. Pretty much. That's pretty much it. That's exactly. Oh, as I kick this, that's pretty much what he was. Have you ever played HeroClix? Does the Infinity Gauntlet trump the Beyonder's power? Hmm. That sounds like it's clobbering time topic. That's a good one. I gotta think about that. I really don't like how they just dismissed the Infinity Gauntlet in the Loki TV series. I love playing board games. The zombie is now on my wish list. Where do you live, Vampire Hunter? Where do you live? This is Dust Tactics. So this is like a historical fiction of like World War II. So this is like a World War II, but with like a little bit of like, I want to say like alien technology. So it's like a World War II with alien technology. How's that? I have this game. I'm looking right at it right over there. I haven't played it yet. And the last one of these is Cthulhu, Death May Die. This is a cooperative tactical miniatures game where, we're all investigators and we're stopping cultists from summoning a great old one. But like I said, Twilight Imperium is my favorite board game. I have a problem that whatever I'm thinking of at that exact moment is my favorite. So Twilight Imperium, Arkham Horror, and Divine Right are my three favorite, and Study in Emerald, my four favorite. I'm turning into Monty Python. Three. Those are my favorite games. So Arkham Horror is like a role. It's a board game, almost like a role playing game, but it's a board game. And it's very heady and complicated. This is a streamlined tactical miniatures game where you're just fighting and cocking your machine gun and just blowing away monsters. Whereas Arkham Horror is more like, okay, we need to contemplate this. We need to do this. We need to get this. A lot of quests. But this is just throw a Molotov cocktail, fight the monster, and you can do it all in an hour. This is a lot of fun. Oh, you live in Mexico City? Well, if you ever come to New York. Now they decided to create a multitude of Beyonders and doing what they lessen the character. Now, instead of being unique, he's a dime a dozen. Yeah. Like, I've always had a problem with Q. Oh, there you go. It's clobber time. Q versus the Beyonder. How's that? Q versus the Beyonder. I'll throw that in for the mix for its clobber time. But my problem with the Beyonder and Q is like the Q continuum. Q goes into the Q continuum and then he comes out. To me, the Q continuum should just be like an ocean, a cosmic ocean. And then like a little like wave jet stream shoots out. And then there's water, and that's Q. And he gathers up, and then when he goes back, he disperses among the ocean. And then so Q should always be different. Because, I don't know, beings at that level, it just, I don't know. I'm weird. I used to play Mansions of Madness with friends. But yeah, Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness is the first tactical miniatures game based on the Arkham Horror board game. So there's the Arkham Horror board game first edition, which I don't have. I have the second edition. Still I love it. They made a third edition. I don't particularly like it that much. And then they made a card game. Then they made a Death May Die. The Beyonder left the security of his defense shields. That's when Dr. Doom used his tech to take the Beyonder's power. So clearly he's using power from someplace else. No, I didn't do Thanos versus Darkseid yet. The very first one was Hulk versus the Flash, just because a kid at work kept asking me. Then I did a Nightwing versus Daredevil. Then I did I forget what I did. Doctor Strange versus Dr. Fate. And then this week was Aquaman versus Submariner. Oh, and then I did the Federation versus the Empire. Those are all of them. The Beyonder left the security of his defense shields. That's when Dr. Doom used his tech. I got to reread. You know, maybe you know finer points that I don't remember. I literally haven't read it since the comic came out. But you might be right. You might be wrong. Who's the better villain, Red Skull or Dr. Doom? Dr. Doom is the greatest superhero villain of all time. Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom. But I love the Red Skull. And I love that the Red Skull's original weakness was he was Hitler's bellboy. Yes. Johann Schmidt was Hitler's bellboy. And he decided to make him a villain. That's it. That's his origin. They did the same with Q. There are many, and they will have done everything, no anything yet. Valencia Q was the only one to manifest. Yeah. I think we have different ideas of. Yeah, we obviously do. We obviously do, and they're kind of fun approaches. They're kind of fun approaches. I think of the Beyonder as an ocean, and you can't steal all the water away from the ocean without becoming the ocean. What's left when you steal the water from the ocean? You know, dead fish. Dead fish is left. So the Beyonder, when Dr. Doom stole the Beyonder's power, all that should have been left is dead fish. Although they introduced Q that wanted to cease, although they then introduced Q that wanted to cease, yes. I always had problems with Q. What would you rather have, the Infinity Gauntlet or the anti-life equation? The anti-life equation just sounds evil, and I don't want to have evil. So without a doubt, the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, I'd rather have the Infinity Gauntlet. Plus, I have the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, I already have. I do not have I don't have the anti-life. So I already have it. And you are all buying Heroic Tales. So how's that? This thing is freaking huge. How's that? Yep, I'm a lunatic. What is Secret Wars? Okay, I'm going to turn off this camera. There we go. Oh. Secret Wars came out in 1984, if I remember. Darth Vader is the best. Okay. Darth Vader is a ripoff of Dr. Doom. What is your T-shirt about? It's there was a board game. Oh, why can't I remember the name of the game? But it was a terrible board game, but the art was really good. So I backed the game, and it came with 3 T-shirts because I thought they looked like Mike Mignola. So why can't I remember the name of the game? But it came with these big clunky dice, but the game was just awful. Everything about the game was great except the game. The presentation, the box, the art, the dice. Why can't I remember the name of the game? But it was just not a good game. I played it and I was like mad. But the T-shirts were really cool. Yes, and it looks Mignola-esque. Yeah. He was just a random bellboy, and Hitler said he could teach anyone to be his most evil agent when he trained Schmidt. Yeah. Hitler's bellboy. Oh man, that would be a funny companion, like Hitler's cook. You know, Hitler's massage therapist. These could all be villains. Hitler's barber. Let's make a comic called Hitler's Barber. Who's the better World War II comic villain, Red Skull or Captain Nazi? I got to say Red Skull. Red Skull, you know. Captain Nazi was a cool bad guy, but Red Skull is just so cool. You know, And even an ocean has limits, so that argument defeats itself. Yeah, but if you steal an ocean, you become the ocean, limits and all. You have the Infinity Gauntlet, and you haven't used it to repair my neck. You know, got to be humble. With the Gauntlet, instead of having the population just auto increase their, yes, they made Thanos the stupidest villain in history. So short-sighted. He delayed. He gave the universe 35 years respite, because that's how long they said it would take to get back to pre-snap. And then the whole blip was just stupid. They should have made it so that the blip never happened, but that's whatever. I am the master of the universe. Dr. Doom isn't an ocean. Most people have limited this. Right. If Dr. Doom is human, and if you pour it in all this water, you would expand and pop, and the ocean would still exist. So I would postulate that absorbing the Beyonder's power would destroy Doom. Yeah, he reached for the stars, and what's beyond, or whatever. I'm loving this argument, by the way, Logic. Don't get upset. Red Skull is iconic. Yeah, I love the Red Skull. I love Dr. Doom. You seen a pattern here? I love all the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby creators. There's my thinking. Every high-level being has to have others just like him, a race sibling, or just a mate. Does eternity have others? You know, they could have limited the power to not be able to create their own transfer to the soul gem. Okay. Like, the problem with the Infinity Gems is they weren't clearly defined. You know, like, what does the power gem do? What does the power gem do? What does the reality gem do? Doesn't the reality gem do everything? You know, and do the gems affect each other? So does the time gem cause the reality gem to go back in time? So now there's two reality gems. You know, and if you have the Infinity Gauntlet, which is infinite power for a second, and you take off the gauntlet, don't you still have the gauntlet because you have the time gem? You know, I don't know. To me, it was just a MacGuffin that was like a worth a one-shot story, and never really should have became as big as it is, because now there's no consequences in the MCU movies. That's limited thinking. You're not the ocean. You increase everything about yourself mentally and physically, absorbing the bounds power, destroy human. But we're not. Humans weren't meant to do that. You know, it's like saying we surgically graft, you know, and change our genes and stuff. We're no longer human. Use Ant-Man's tech to make Doom giant. Now he's the giant brain. Yeah. So I got nothing. I don't know what else to talk about. Showed off these comics. So one box, two big boxes of these came in. So one box was all comics, these graphic novels. This was the heavy box. The other box was actual pieces for board games. So if anybody plays any of these games, you know, these came with pieces that you can only get in the comic book C-Bond comic book Kickstarter. What would you rather be hit with? Red Skull's Red Dust of Death or Joker's Toxin? I don't know which one's least painful. The Joker one, you laugh until you die. That hurts. The Red Death just kills you. You know, just think about how powerful, how painful it would be to die by laughing to death, right? There you go again with the religion. I didn't bring up religion. I don't worship Beyonder. What am I dressing for Halloween? Odin. I dress up for Odin as Odin every year. I will be Odin every year for Halloween from now on. Aren't we meant to change ourselves with fast? Why aren't we meant to change ourselves with fast powers? At what point are we not ourselves anymore? You know, like, our personality is just a function of the shape of our brain. If we change the shape of our brain, our personality is different. We're not us anymore. You know, we are a physical, three-dimensional thing inside the skull. Yeah, me too, Logic. That's what I say. Come on, burn the hamburgers. The kids, how old's your daughter? 7? She could grill burgers. She could do it. Right? She don't need you to grill the burgers. She's what is she, 6, 7? She could be around fire with knives. Again, anybody want to pop in? Anybody want to pop in? I'm just going to stop the extra camera because you never know. What limits are ourselves? I mean, once again, if we change the shape of our brain, are we truly ourselves? You know, I mean, what is our consciousness? Give her a box of matches. Yeah, she'll figure it out. Oh, your daughter's 28? Well, got to cut that apron sometime. I think Alan thought about this super being spreader with Dr. Manhattan. Yeah. Like was Dr. Manhattan John Osterman? You know, he had a different personality, he had a different point of view. Like he's an evolved John Osterman. We are more than just a lump of brain. Yeah. But if our brain changes shape, our personality, our consciousness, our way of thinking, it all changes. So, like, you know, fundamentally, we will be like a different person, and all that power going to Doom, it's going to physically change everything, his way of thinking. If Dr. Doom absorbs the power of the Beyonder, his perspective, everything about him has to change, including the way he thinks. You know, like it should have been like he absorbs the power of the Beyonder. The rest of the heroes rush in, and Doom is just like, goodbye. You know what I mean? Like the Buddha, it just winks out. Anti-Monitor versus the Beyonder would make a great discussion on its clobbering time. I like the Anti-Monitor. Did they ever really fully explore the limits of his powers? Like, could he pick up a planet and crush it and stuff like that? Or did he just set things in motion? I kind of forget. We are more than a brain. That sounds like something you should be saying while you're holding a brain. We are more than a brain. And then lightning. Lightning has to go behind. Beyonder. Is that Space Jesus? What do you read? Richard's talking to the Beyonder. Beyonder. Is that Space Jesus? So if we gain the Beyonder's type power, we change. So why is that to be feared? I didn't say I fear it. I just said we have to change. Our perspective changes everything because we get omniscience. We learn everything. You know, we everything about it. I don't want to pick my nose, but man, I got something that's just killing me right at the entrance. There's nothing else to spoil. I got nothing else to show. I could sing, I could dance. I got rhythm. I got Jack Kirby and Buscema, the True Guards. Yes. You saw that Mark Waid comic when the thing died and went to heaven and he met Jack Kirby as God. I got verklempt. Captain Marvel or Marvel, who's the best? I like them both. As a matter of fact, next week on It's Clobbering Time, it's Captain Marvel, Shazam, versus Beta Ray Bill. I gotta make the stream for that. I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Which goes back to, yes, the Beyonder is not his power. He's not a god. He's just a being with great power. But what is a god? Define God. You tell me what's not a god. Tell me what is a god. You know, we got to define God then in order to have this argument. There's the live chat. I just hit a button. What else can I talk about? Got nothing else to show. Looking around. Should we twist my neck? I don't know. All right. 2 hours. Here's the thing. The Beyonder is like Galactus and he wasn't fully thought out. Great story, but nobody has. Yeah. I agree. The Beyonder wasn't really thought out. I agree. I thought I had an addendum to that, but I guess I don't. Thank you. My collection is made. Thank you. I had everything in storage from 1993 to 3 years ago. So uh, all I ever wanted was a place big enough for my stuff. You know that? Remember that George Carlin routine? I wanted a place for my stuff, and I had a 1-bedroom apartment, just everything jam packed. And during COVID, I was like, we got to move. We bought this tiny little fallen apart house, built it up, fixed up this basement for a place for my stuff, and I'm never moving. Lovecraft or Howard? Who's my favorite? Oh, when you said Lovecraft or Howard, I'm like, isn't Howard Lovecraft? H.P. Lovecraft is Howard Phillips Lovecraft. But you're talking about Howard, who does Conan. Lovecraft. I love Lovecraft, and I've only read one Conan story. I didn't like Conan. I liked the movie with I was about to say Lou Ferrigno, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love that movie, but I love Lovecraft. I got to read more Howard. I liked what I read, but I only read one story. Next on It's Clobber Tom, Logic's Finest First, John's Longbox. Okay, that's good. I'll help. Omniscient, omniscient means you could sense everything. I was about to say see, but it's more than that. You are aware of everything. Omnipresent means you are everywhere, and omnipotent means you are all powerful. So the Beyonder, at least the way Jim Shooter showed him, he was omnipotent, but he was not omnipresent, and he was not omniscient. So he was one out of the three. Because if he was all three of them, there's no way you could beat him. Although I find how Marvel does gods fascinating, all the pantheons. Yes, I do remember, because I was old enough to be there when the Eternals came out, and I remember having a logical problem of the Eternals and the Greek gods existing. I could deal with the Norse gods, there were different beings, but the Eternals were clearly the Greek gods. So how could there be Greek gods and the Eternals on the same planet? No, great comic. Yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, man, nobody's getting mad. There is the omnipotent, uncreated creator of everything. Then there are the lesser contingent beings that have tremendous power, but they still dependent. Yep. I call that in my role-playing game, like I almost say it's like a feudal society. It's like a pyramid scheme. Like in my game, a god, again, this is my role-playing game, and therefore it'll be in Heroic Tales. But a god is a being that basically has a claim on your soul. It has nothing to do with power or anything like that. So when you die, your soul goes to Phil Moskowitz, because that's what you worship. That's what you decided your soul goes to. And then Phil Moskowitz gathers souls and he becomes more and more powerful. But he may live for eternity. He may die tomorrow, whatever. But if Phil Moskowitz dies, his souls will go to the next layer. And eventually all the souls go to Yahweh or Elohim or whatever you want to call him, because he's the top of the pyramid. But Zeus and all these people, they are vassals to the greater G. That's the way gods are in my game. To me, Marvel has done cosmic beings, but yeah. The DC always had like it wasn't really important. Like it didn't matter. Whereas Marvel always had like a more consistent continuity cosmic wise, But that's because guys like Jim Shooter and Roy Thomas and Stan Lee, they had control over the whole company. Whereas I think DC wasn't like a fiefdom of like the Doom Patrol was on its own. DC had like different fiefs in its, so like they could have different Atlantises and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some more Omnis. There's Omni Magazine. Anybody remember that? The one above all versus the presence. Yes, Robert E. Howard reads all. It's funny how like things happen in groups. Like something else just happened today. Somebody, read Atari Force. All of a sudden, 3 people in 1 week. Everybody was telling me to read Atari Force. Like in the past 2 weeks, everybody's been telling me to read Solomon Kane. Max Steak in the Rough or the Frontier Restaurant. Oh, are you in Albuquerque? Because the Frontier Restaurant, are you talking about Albuquerque? I love the Frontier Restaurant. I've never been to Steak in the Rough. I think I did. I don't know. Is that Steak in the Rough in Albuquerque? But the Frontier Restaurant, oh my God, I crave the Frontier Restaurant in Albuquerque. Ah, man, I love that restaurant. Jim Shooter didn't show the Beyonder as all powerful. He showed him as more powerful than a fully. Yeah, that's true. That is true. He didn't show him as all powerful. And he definitely wasn't all omniscient. Otherwise, he would have known the answer to his question. And there would have been no reason for the premise of the whole series. Feudal society is a decent analogy. Oh, thank you. From Robert E. Howard, read Solomon Kane. Okay. Again, like everything just pops. Like read Atari Force, read Atari Force, read Atari Force, and now everybody's telling me it's Solomon Kane. I heard that the Earth gods were made from some other guys. I forgot the name. Some cosmic beings. Are we talking about Marvel Comics? Does being the Dungeon Master mean you're a god? I am a god. It means I'm a god. I don't know about the rest of these. I don't, the what's it called? Critical Role guys. I don't know about them, but me, you will bow before me. No, maybe a middle manager. Logic Finest. Is your 28-year-old daughter just like, where's my food, Dad? I'm hungry over here, and you're over there talking to some jackass in a neck brace. The Infinity Gauntlet showed that the living Tribunal Eternity were the only 2 beings more powerful than Galactus. That was before the retcons. I totally agree with you. I for some reason, I was fascinated by Eternity as a kid. I just loved the whole concept of Eternity. And I made up an analog in my role-playing game called Sentience. And Sentience was Eternity. And sentience was the sum total of all intelligence in the universe, so whatever. But there are 2, in my role-playing game, there are 2 cosmic beings called Eternity and Infinity. And Eternity is like the embodiment of time, and then Infinity is the embodiment of space. They might show up in the comics, but they might not, The Dungeon Master is kind of like a Bond villain. Yeah, absolutely. Some person, you're absolutely right. And I say this to, my players all know this, but if I get a chance, the fortune to have a new player, I always tell them, I said, you have to understand, there's always a chance of failure and there's always a chance of success. Otherwise, it's not fun, so, and I'm not here to save you from your consequences. If it's the first time you're playing and you're not sure, I just want you to have fun. I don't, it's not fun to have your character that you spent an hour and a half making just get crushed and humiliated. So I will fudge a few rolls, stuff like that, the first time you play or whatever. But if we've been playing like every night and we've been playing for 3 years, if your character just does something stupid, your face is getting blown off. You know what I mean? But I never start off any session with any intentions of killing any characters. But if it happens, it happens. And I've never had a TPK, total party kill, yet. Came close. And that was because another player, we were playing a superhero game. The bad guy, his name was Gravitas. He was a gravity-controlled master villain. And he stole a nuclear missile, and he was throwing the nuclear missile at the bad guys. My friend Jimmy, his character's name was Utensil. Oh my God, I love this character. And Utensil was a robot with, every device imaginable. So he went up to deactivate the bomb. And I just said, Jimmy, keep in mind, when in Villains Vigilantes, a 1 is the best possible thing. A 20 is the worst possible thing. So it's the opposite of Dungeons & Dragons. So I said to him, if you roll a 20, you're detonating this bomb, nuclear bomb, and the whole team, was there, they were flying next to the missile. So he's okay, rolls the dice, and just looks right at me. And we would joke, "Bye, kids." So he rolled the 20, and that's what Jimmy goes, "Bye, kids." And I rolled the damage. It was 400 damage. Boom! The only person who survived was my friend Donna. She had a character based on like the Thing. So he was like this armored, like living black hole made out of like star mass. Like I was the only one to survive, and that character was in critical condition in the hospital. That character had 800 hit points, and at that point, the 400 almost killed him because she had damage already. So oh my god, I didn't kill him. I didn't. So it was almost a total TPK because Jimmy rolled the 20, and I warned him, and he still did it. Yes, Marvel. Okay, DC. I don't know what you referred to. Hey, Emily Kruger, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thank you for coming, Emily. We're closing out my Heroic Tales Kickstarter, which is still available for 21 more hours. To be clear, I only really care about Marvel pre-Rebirth. I started moving away in 1996. By 1999, I was mostly done, but Civil War offended me. Marvel forgot who the characters were total. I have problems with Civil War, but it's been so long I don't remember the little needling details. But yeah, what year was Civil War? I think that's when I started having problems, and I quit in 2015. So I maybe. So what Logic Finds? What year did you actually drop Marvel? Me, it was 2015. Marvel and DC. The Dungeon Master could be beaten up. He's the jerk over there. I'm on with a handful of die fours. They're very pointy. Do you play Dungeons Dragons or role-playing games? Well, if it ain't the consequences of my actions. The Dungeon Master is like Jigsaw from the Saw movies. In Dungeons and Dragons, I always felt that it was the players versus the DM. And it made me a little uncomfortable. When I started playing villains and vigilantes, I always thought it was we're all working together to come up with a fun story. So I always liked that method. So that's the way I play. We're all going to come up with a fun story. And if at the end of the night, everybody's succeeding and everybody leveled up and everybody's high-fiving, I won too because it was fun. I'm not out trying to destroy anybody's characters. So I do say that I mostly talk Marvel pre-1996. For me, everything after 1980 was more fan fiction, and Civil War was Civil War was like, what year was the Civil War? Wasn't that like 205 or something? I noticed that Alan Scott Lantern. Yeah, the Alan Scott Lantern is right there. The Hal Jordan Lantern is there. Yeah. Any thoughts on what they ruined him? They ruined the character. I talked about this last time I was live. What was it, 2 nights ago? That they took somebody else created this character. Somebody else created this character with a personality, a history, a backstory, and then somebody else came and changed all that. That's so disrespectful. You don't get to do that. You only get to add onto a character. You don't get to remove and change. I just find that to be the worst. And the fact that Alan Scott's son, Todd Rice, was the first openly gay character even before North Star, or maybe after, I forget which. And then they erased that character to make somebody. It was like, so you erased the first historically black DC, the first historically gay DC character to make somebody else, because this wasn't a big enough catch for you. You wanted this. This was the bigger catch. It's just disrespectful. You're from Albuquerque. Does Hurricane Disaster Burritos still open? Or is that 2 different chains? And then there was another. What was the name of the other burger place? Oh my God, that's going to drive me nuts. Ranchero Burgers. Oh my God, the Ranchero Burgers. I love that place. Yeah, but there was hurricanes, I think it was, and they had a disaster burrito that was served in like a styrofoam trough. Oh my god, oh, it's so good. You rolled a one, your hands fall off. Yeah, the Civil War was 2006, right? Yeah, 2006. Yeah, that's when I started to get. That's when I started to get annoyed. Okay, okay, Civil War is 2000. No, I like to watch. You like to watch what? You like to? Oh, you don't play role playing games. You watch. So what do you watch? Like YouTube channels? I have a Call of Cthulhu table. I like that game. Table, like a real table where you play Call of Cthulhu. So how? What makes it a Call of Cthulhu table? I'm guessing everyone goes slowly and loses in the Cthulhu. Yes, there's a role playing game, uh, Call of Cthulhu role playing game, and what's different about that game is you start out the best you will ever be, and you get worse as you go along. It's the opposite of every other role playing game. It's actually fun. By 1999, I was down to Spider-Man and X-Men only, and even then, maybe 5 issues a year. From 1996, I was only a rester. Yeah, yeah. I was nuts. I was still full on getting like everything Marvel and DC up until like 2015, and I was hating them. And then one day I was like, enough's enough. I changed Marvel for Image with Spawn in the 90s. Later go with Hellboy. I still love Hellboy, and like never came back. But occasionally short story like, well, yeah, I don't look at anything Marvel and DC anymore. You know, we broke up. Oh no, Mark Miller annoyed you with Civil War. Oh, that's right. Mark Miller wrote Civil War. Yeah, I you know I don't. There's a couple of things that he wrote that I didn't particularly like. Yes, the Cthulhu Call of Cthulhu role playing game. Yeah, that was a fun game. Oh, I'm just looking. People are messaging me on Twitter, so I was just looking at Twitter. What's my phone? So, all right, I'm all caught up. Anybody else got anything else to say? End it now, because I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of talked out, unless all of a sudden a whole other topic comes up. I don't know what else to say. So, update on the comic. My comic, 19 hours to go. So, what time is that? Can anybody tell me what it is? Will be in 19 hours. Right now, it's 12:30 a.m. What will it be in 19 hours? But my comic, I couldn't imagine watching this and not know what my comic is, but it's Heroic Tales. It's currently on Kickstarter. I got one backer during this. That's pretty cool. Renzo Rodriguez is the artist. Patriarch is the flagship character. I think everybody knows this, but I was originally going to make it an anthology, whereas every issue was going to have a different hero. And then I realized maybe I'm doing something wrong, and it's too late to change the comic to the Patriarch. But it's still Heroic Tales, because I'm going to have 2 heroes in every comic, 2 stories, an A story, a main story, 22 pages, and a short story, 15 pages or so. So we're talking 37 pages of comic. And then if I hit a stretch goal, I'm going to have a 3rd story. So we're talking, it's going to be a pretty decent sized comic book, going on in the future. But the Patriarch story is already written. The Mary Sue story is already written, but the optional, the stretch goal story is not written yet. The Patriarch story is going to be drawn by Renzo, colored by Daniel de la Silva Rodriguez, so it's going to look exactly like this. The Mary Sue story is drawn by Renzo, colored by Oscar Carano, and if I get to do the Unheroic Tales, that'll be drawn by Ron Mosicki, and I'll probably be colored by Oscar too. Hurricanes and Disaster still around, Red Chair. Bob's Burgers, that's it. Oh my God, yes, Bob Burgers has the Ranchero Burgers. Oh my God, my wife and I want to. I want to take her to Albuquerque and just go on an eating tour. You know, the couple of Mexican places closed since I've been there, but I love the Frontier. I love Bob's Burgers. I love Hurricane. So Hurricanes and Disaster are two different places. But oh my God, I used to, you know, you get that big Disaster burrito in that plastic trough covered with cheese and enchilada sauce and then curly fries. It was disgusting and I loved it. Arizona food versus New York food. I'm gonna have to say New York. You know, people laugh at New York, but we got Mexicans, we got Indians, we got Chinese. You know, you could go to Elmhurst right now. I could hop in my car and drive to Elmhurst right now and get authentic Indian food from people who 6 weeks ago were in India. You know, I could take you to also Elmhurst, the other side of Elmhurst, to get Thai food from authentic Thailand. I could go downtown Flushing and get you the best dumplings. You know, and I could take you to Mott Street, Manhattan, and get you some of the best pizza. You know, I could go anywhere, go almost anywhere and get right where I live right here out in Suffolk County. I walked into a bar and grill. They didn't speak English. They didn't have an English menu. It was all Mexican. And oh my God, was that food good? So I'm not going to say Arizona food is bad. I've been to Arizona. The food is awesome. But New York, you know, we got the population. So whatever you want is you can get. To each their own, and to own, I don't know what to say next. We like what we like. We share a pint, discuss. Yeah. You know what I want to do? One night, I want to everybody get a pint. Everybody will get a beer. When fulfillment is done, and we all got our pint glasses, I want to have a beer night. You know, and everybody take out your Patriarch pint glass, and we'll all have a beer together and say, "Woo-wee, that was fun. It's over. Let's do it again." What are the board games I should play before I die? Well, I'm just going to tell you my favorite board games. My favorite board games are Twilight Imperium, which is a game that we only get to play like once a year. It's an 8-hour epic game. If you're curious, there's Shut Up and Sit Down. The English guys that do board games, they made like a documentary. I don't watch them anymore because they went woke, and they put out a tweet that said, I can't remember the woman's name, but they said, follow this woman. No, support her Kickstarter. She's a woman in board gaming. And I said, well, what is she doing? Why should I support it? Just because she's a woman? What is her project? You got to give me something to work with. And they told me I was a lout and blocked me. So that was like 6 years ago. I have not seen anything from Shut Up or Sit. That's how I am. No mercy. You say something like that, why would I follow you? But so Twilight Imperium, Arkham Horror 2nd edition is perhaps my favorite game. Eldritch Horror, it's another Cthulhu game, and then Study in Emerald 1st edition. There's a 2nd edition, but it's like they took out all of the fun complications. But keep in mind, I like super complicated games. Like next week, we're going to play a game called Anachrony, which is about time travel. It is just as confusing as you think it would be. But I'd love. Come on over, we'll play. I started with Brian Posen's Nerd Poker, but I watched one that was currently on Valkyrie's Play, a sub-channel of Red Valkyrie. You should see their first season. A guy called Nick Tucker. I don't know what you're talking about. Is this a D&D YouTube channel? Beth Bleach is great too. Russian and Polish. Oh, Beth Beach is great too. Russian and Polish. Beth Beach? Or are you talking about Brighton Beach? Anything on Earth 3 exists in New York made by yeah. That's why I had to laugh. There was that salsa commercial. This salsa was made in New York City. I'm like, yeah, it's probably awesome. You know, I got a lot of problems with New York. The food ain't one of them. You know, hopefully no one uses their heroic tales. Yeah, and if you do, I had nothing to do with it. I'm surprised they know the word lout. They're smart guys. They just woke. If you ever know, yeah, I'd like to go. I'd like to go. Do you know of a store called Don's Books? Do you ever know, do you know? Are you familiar with Don's Books? Yes, a D&D game being streamed. I did. Uh, there's a playlist of role-playing games, and you can see. I think there's 4 sessions of me and my friends playing villains vigilantes, from character creation to leveling up at the end. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it all. John, have you ever talked about Contest of Champions? Not yet. Not that. That was. I was thinking of, like, that would be a good for 2 beards, 1 comic. I mean, so I'm kind of holding up. Like, I wanted to do Micronauts with Kelsey. So when Kelsey emerges from his hibernation, maybe, and if it's if whatever, so I'll give him an appropriate amount of time. Oh, it's in Brooklyn. Yeah, there's so many good places to eat in Brooklyn. My favorite ramen place is in Brooklyn, Ichiran. Manhattan Beach in Brooklyn, lots of Russians. Yep. Oh, you know Don's? Okay. Yeah, tell Liz, who owns Don's, that John has a comic and she needs to back it. Tell her that. My comic store, our Comic Warehouse, Lobo Comics, and Astro Zombies, right by the Lobo movie theater. Lobo Comics must be new. Is that on Main Street by the Lobo Theater? And is the Lobo Theater still in business? That was like always threatening to close down. I love the Lobo movie theater. Plenty of Greek and Arabic food in Brooklyn. Absolutely, there's plenty of every food. I mean, you could go to Astoria. It's all Greek. The borough of Queens, New York City is the most ethnic. Yes, Queens is huge. Queens is the biggest of the 5 boroughs by far. Manhattan is the one everybody talks about, but Queens is probably bigger than the other 5 boroughs put together. Brooklyn, I think, is the second biggest. The borough of Queens is the most. Yeah. You can get anything in Queens. Some towns are all Indian. Some towns are all Italian. Go to Howard Beach, you get some of the best pizza. So I just want to show this. I'm trying to see if I missed any comments. Oh, it looks like I got all the comments. Every nation on earth, you can find their food in Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan. Yeah. I don't go to Manhattan anymore. I only go to Brooklyn because of the. I only go to Queens because of the old lady that I take her food shopping. She's 93 years old. She outlived her entire family, and she's a shut-in. So I go to her house on like every other Sunday and take her food shopping. Otherwise, she doesn't know how to order. She doesn't know how to do anything online. So we just did that to her. We have to put down a blanket on the car. She's just filthy. I thought Bronx was the biggest. Queens is the biggest. Bronx is big. I think Queens is the biggest, then Brooklyn, then Bronx, then Staten Island. Manhattan's the smallest. Oh, really? Liz said she watched your videos? Cool. Tell her I said hello. Ask her how she's doing. Cool. That's funny. It's a small world. What is it? I don't get the reference, except for this comment. Manhattan is only 1/5 of New York City, but it's 90. Yes. I was reading it, and it was. I guess I'm getting sleepy because it didn't make sense. Manhattan is only 1/5 of New York City. Yes, it's one of the 5 boroughs, but it's 90% of what you see on TV and film. So people have a very skewed idea of what. Yes, and most of Manhattan isn't even like big skyscrapers. Like, the skyscraper portion. There's this part all the way downtown. Then there's like a part midtown. And then there's like a little scattering, although the uptown part seems to be getting more and more skyscrapers. But there's vast tracts of like tenement buildings, and then like every superhero is in Manhattan, You know, I'm toying with the idea of you know the Batman vigilante character. I'm still not 100% sure of what city I'm going to put him in, because Science City exists. Science City is the name of the city that the Patriarch protects. Science City is outside of Yuma, Arizona, out in the desert. So it's that's where it's located on the earth. But there still is New York. There still is Boston. There still is Baltimore and everything. And they're going to have other heroes too. But Science City is going to be like the metropolis Manhattan. It's going to be where all the, you know, because there's something magically wrong with Science City. But there's other fictional cities. There's Umbra City in Maine, which I'll talk about later on. It's mentioned in issue 2. So there will be other, you know, fictional cities. So it's kind of like a mix between like Marvel and DC in the fact that there's going to be fictional cities, but I'm going to give you real locations where they are. Okay. But what I was going to say is I have a street level vigilante character that was based on Batman, and I don't want him to be in Manhattan. And I was thinking he might be in Brooklyn. I might put him actually in Brooklyn as his base of operations. And then later on, he's going to go to Science City for a specific reason. I was thinking that he has more footage in the Bronx, but Manhattan, I think, has more footage. Oh, really? I'm not going to argue, but I always thought that because the Bronx, you know, once you get up to like up there, it's all forest area and everything, you know. But you know, and then there's parts of Manhattan that people forget about, like up by Spanish Harlem and stuff. I'm surprised Times Square has all those people in costumes now. It used to be a Hollywood thing. Yeah, that it's a money making, people in superhero costumes. Midtown and downtown Manhattan have the high-rise buildings and the iconic skylines from TV, but that's half of Manhattan still. Yeah, I know. Like 1/3 of Manhattan, which is 1/5 of New York City, represents like 90% of what everybody thinks. Most of New York State is cows and farms. Like if you go, once you go through Long Island, and then you go through the 5 boroughs, and then you go to Westchester where the X-Men are. Once you get like a mile past Westchester, it's hillbillies and farmers, and rednecks. It's funny because most of New York is conservative. It's just like geographically, but then you get the 5 boroughs, and cities are always traditionally less conservative. So we always get the politics of the 5 boroughs dominates the state. I wanted to say so. So Liz says she watched your videos. Ask her if she backed my comic. That's the important question. Where are we? Okay. Queens looks vastly different from Manhattan and changes from area to area. Staten Island is never on TV and looks... Staten Island. Yeah, Staten Island looks like the suburbs. Staten Island, there's some like hills in it or anything like that. Yeah. If you're in Staten Island, you're gonna be like, I'm in New York City? No way. Staten Island looks like the suburbs. And Queens looks vastly different from Manhattan. Yeah. You could go out by Queens, out in Forest Hills, where John Romita had his house, which was modeled where Peter Parker lived, and it's the suburbs. Big street blocks. You could go over to one of my favorite towns in Queens, Forest Hills Gardens. It's got cobblestone roads and old-fashioned like street lights and big, beautiful houses and everything like that. And it looks like a forest. There's trees in between everything. It looks like you're in like some British village. It's gorgeous. And then you go over to like, where's the Jackson Diner? Jackson Heights. It looks like, you got the train going over your head and hookers and people puking in the streets. It's gross. Is New York as dangerous as they say? It's getting there. It's getting back to it. If you watch the taxi driver. That was Manhattan for like a long time. And then it got cleaned up when we had a nice Republican mayor who cleaned up everything. Now it's, you got people every day. I don't know if you hear it, but every day there's somebody getting pushed into the subway, pushed into the streets. And then if you fight back, you get arrested. I'm not going into Manhattan. I don't even go into Queens or Brooklyn unless I have to. New York cheddar is pretty good. Yeah, New York State is mostly farms and rural small towns. New York State, yes. I'm not going to Manhattan unless I have to. I left New York City more than 10 years ago. Rent is insane. You're absolutely right. I left the 5 boroughs. And my mortgage is cheaper than my rent. I had a 1-bedroom apartment. Now I have a house. My mortgage is cheaper than my 1-bedroom apartment rent. How far away was Aunt May's house from where the action was? Pretty far. Peter would have to take a bus to where the subways were, and then hop. So like from like foot traffic, you take a bus. It would take him about an hour to get into Manhattan, But he would swing. But he was in like where he lived. It was basically suburbs. So if he jumped out of his window as Spider-Man, he would have to like wait till because there was buses going by. He would have to like wait till there was a bus and then hop on the bus, But otherwise there's nothing to swing to. What do you get? Your neighbor's house, you'd hit the ground and then you just walking as Spider-Man. That's not as dramatic. It's kind of funny to think about. New York is one of the 4 states that has 20 million people, but half the population lives in New York City. So as New York City votes, that carries the states. Yep. New York City and Buffalo are deeply given. The rest is Republican. Absolutely. Yep. I figured property taxes would go down with the higher crime. No. People still want to live there. What was the last time you ever heard of taxes going down? Could you still go into the Statue of Liberty? I went into the Statue of Liberty around 92. I haven't been there since. So I assume you can. I know they shut it down for a while. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Depends. Long Island City is close to the East River. Yeah, Long Island City, though, is being built up as we speak. It's being gentrified. I had to go there for court. I was on jury duty. And I didn't recognize it. I remember Long Island City, it was like junky streetwalking hookers. And last time I went there, it was all like nice bar and grills and stuff. So, it all got gentrified. Oh, I got another backer. I just got a notification. Let's see. Will the 51 go to 52? Nope. So it finally went to my phone. Okay. It finally went to my phone. So, Tony, you grew up in Albuquerque? You lived there your whole I loved Albuquerque. It was just there was no jobs out there. There was nothing to do. Matter of fact, Liz, one of her friends, got me a job as a librarian in the Santa Fe prison. I got the job. I took the job, but then I took another job instead, and I never went. He was a little upset, but it was an hour drive to Santa Fe, an hour drive back, and I'm trying to remember what job I took. I took another. No, I forget what job I took. I took another job instead. But that's funny. The internet's changed the remote work, making it possible not to. Yeah. And people are moving away. My wife only goes to the office like twice a week now. We have a 3-bedroom house. One of the bedrooms is her office. One of the bedrooms is like a guest room. The other bedroom is our bedroom. And, she has it all set up. Even when she has to go to work, sometimes she's like, I don't feel like coming in. She's like, I'm not coming. Okay, they don't care. Spider-Man is close to Manhattan, Long Island City, which is Queens. Crazy name, by the way, but it borders the East River. So the 59th Street Bridge in Queens Midtown Tunnel is right there. Yes. Yes. But Spider-Man house was in Flushing. You know, he wasn't in Long Island City. He grew up in Flushing, Queens. And he would have to take the bus kind of like where I lived in Fresh Meadows. And then that wasn't too far away from the 59th Street Bridge. Yeah, Long Island. No, I pretty sure he was Flushing. Pretty sure he was Flushing. But if he was in Long Island City, maybe, I mean, because he grew up in a big 2-story house. Those houses over at Flushing, because it was based on where John Romita Jr. or John Romita Sr. lived. Pretty sure. Could be wrong though. What else? What else? What else? That's yeah. Flushing is a lot farther away, and Flushing's huge. I think Flushing might be the biggest town in Queens, but Flushing is huge, and Flushing is very diverse because you could go from just got another backer. Okay, so the backer. Wow, thank you. I don't want to say names because I don't want to oust anybody, but thank you. I just got a pretty decent backer. Thank you so much. What was I saying? Oh, Flushing. Flushing is I lived on the border of Fresh Meadows and Flushing. And where I lived, there was buses that took you right to the subway, like a 10-minute bus ride right to the subway. And that's how I commuted. I didn't even have a car for like 8 or 9 years because I didn't need it because I worked anywhere in the 5 boroughs. So I was always, I could go anywhere from this bus to the E train. But you could go out in Flushing and it's the suburbs and you need a car, to get around. And then you could go over to like what I call downtown Flushing, which is all Asian. My wife liked it. There's an Asian supermarket there. There was Joe Shanghai's, my favorite Chinese restaurant, which is now closed. There's only one in Manhattan now. That's the only reason I'll go to Manhattan is to go to that restaurant. I love it so much. And my wife won't come with me, so I got to go by myself. But Flushing is really, really like weird. It goes from suburbs to like what you picture Queens to look like, The films showed Long Island City, but read the comics. It said Flushing, especially if there was a couple pages that showed maps of a Marvel location. I'm actually Googling it now. Marvel comic real life locations. There's a specific map that I'm thinking of, and I'll see if I can find it. I'm getting movies. I want the comic book. I want the. And of course, when I click on it, it disappears. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up, stop the screen, share the screen. Okay, and voila. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to take this down because I got a bigger one. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, all right. Does this work? Okay, so Spider-Man, 20 Ingram Street, Forest Hills, Queens. Over here, kind of where the Ninja Turtles is Long Island City, but Spider-Man is way out here. Okay, so can you see that? Forest Hills, Queens. I said Flushing and Forest Hills. Forest Hills is even farther away. So there you go. So there you go. Flushing is a highway drive from Manhattan. The Triborough Bridge is from Flushing with no traffic. What's my favorite John Carpenter film? The Thing. The Thing, and then I think Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. The Triborough Bridge brings you to northern Manhattan in the Bronx by Yankee Stadium. Yep. Pete moved in with Harry pretty quick. Made getting beat up by the Gibbon much more convenient. I forget. I think he moved to like downtown Manhattan. I forget where. If I was a bank robber, I would avoid Manhattan. Yeah, in the comics anyway. I always wondered, like, why would any criminal operate in Manhattan? Like, go to Mesquite, Illinois. There's no superheroes. Yeah, Forest Hills is nowhere near Manhattan. Exactly. Yeah. So, like, I always thought, like, when you see Peter Parker puts on his costume and goes out the window, then when he jumps and then just walks down the street, hiding behind trees and cars, there's nothing to swing from. It would be better off if he went out as Peter Parker with a backpack, hopped on a bus, and that, you know what I mean? But it's more dramatic. It's more dramatic. Oh, God, that's pretty funny. So I got two backers during the course of this video. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Like, I don't want to sound like a shill, but, like, I got to sell the comic. I'm refreshing. Yeah. Hey, Woodrow. Hey, chat. Hey, chat. Hope everyone's having a good night. How long is left on the campaign? 19 hours to go. 19 hours. The Kickstarter will, and I'm not redoing anything with Kickstarter. Indiegogo. I'm hoping to start Friday. And if not, then I'll probably do it next Friday. Forest Hills is farther away, but Queens Boulevard straight to the 59th Street Bridge and the Queens downtown. Yep. And I will say this to you, Logic's finest. On the right before you get on the 59th Street Bridge, so you drive into Manhattan, you make a left at the White Castle over there. That is the best White Castle in existence. I don't know what they do with that White Castle, but it is better than any other White Castle. Oh my God, it is so good. I used to come home I was working on the George Washington Bridge. I would come off Queens, the 59th Street Bridge, and then, like, my car would, like, just turn right into that White Castle. I'm like, I have no control. My car would go into there. Oh, so good. And then just eat White Castles on the way home. Hi, why is Spider-Man always jumping out of Peter Parker's window? I know. That is kind of funny. Problem is, there's always traffic everywhere. Yep. A 15-minute drive could easily take 1 hour. Yeah. It's funny to say a 15-minute drive could take an hour. It sounds like you're taking a time machine. But yes. I really liked when COVID was with the shutdowns. I was working on the George Washington Bridge. I would drive, boom. There would be nobody on the road. I'll go up the 59th Street Bridge, go up the FDR Drive. Nobody. Oh, it was so good. It was such a pleasure. I'm just seeing who else is streaming. I mean, I'm just babbling. I'm not saying anything. Why is anybody even watching this? I'm not even saying anything important. Nobody's streaming. I'm the only one streaming. Or at least nobody I subscribe to. Nobody in my world. Yeah. Okay. So that Light Castle's gone out of business, like since 4 years ago. The last time I went was 4 years ago. So it's went out of business since 4 years ago. I bet you're still in business. Nice. Congratulations on the successful campaign. I'm excited to reap and reading my spread. I'm excited too. Yeah, I'm excited because I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to share my comic book world with everybody, and it's exciting because it's fun to do. Right now, I'm entering what I think is actually work. Everything else has been fun. Writing a script, watching the art come back. Oh no, we got to change this. That's all been fun. But now, like, I don't know, the idea of like getting these files organized and doing a pre-press and then talking to the printer, and then they're going to ask me what weight of the paper. That doesn't sound like fun. So this is the part I've been like waking up in the middle of the night. Oh my God. Oh, you know what I mean? Like everything else has been fun up until this point. What are my thoughts on your boy, Zach? I'm a loyal guy. So that's why it really bothered me when EVS all of a sudden turned on me, because I've been defending him. Matter of fact, the day he attacked me, I was telling people I met him in person. He's not that fat. And then all of a sudden I turn on the computer, but whatever. I'm loyal to Zach. I understand what Zach is talking about. I understand. And my problem has always been, say whatever you want, grouch whatever you want, complain about whatever you want. But when you're harping on it, that's when it gets bad. Like, I'm trying to think of something I don't like. I didn't like Isom. I didn't like it. So I didn't turn this into an I hate Isom channel. You know, I don't have anything personal against Eric July, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't like Godlike. I think that was pretty public that I didn't like God, but I didn't dwell on it. I talked about it and I moved on. Talk about it, move on. Talk about it, move on. Your boy Zach, he's been talking about party clowns for like 3 weeks now. Like, move on. Who cares? Why does the Critical Drinkers channel affect you in the slightest? You know, there's this 3-way drama going on right now with EVS and Eric July and JDA, and I don't care. They could get things wrong. They could get things right. It doesn't. Why does it affect you? Why is it your channel is to talk about comic books, not to talk about the Critical Drink? I just think you're off. Your mission statement is off. But I still listen to him every day. But I like the guy and I'm rooting for him. You know, I guess that's it. I like the guy and I'm rooting for him. I'm off so long. Thanks for all the fish. I hope you didn't burn your daughter's. I hope you didn't burn your dirty. I hope you didn't burn the burger. I got to remember exactly where that White Castle is. It's across the street from a bar called Daisy's. I agree. I'm at the hard part now too. With your, there's something in my mouth driving me crazy. There's a snot in my nose. I just want to pick my face, just rip off my flesh. I agree. I'm at the hard part now too. Yeah. This is the work part. This is the not fun part. This is transferring files part, talking about paperweights, printing. This is not the fun part. I wish somebody else would do this for me. To tell you the truth, bagging the boarding, putting them in boxes, taping, that's gonna be relaxing. But I'm nervous about the fulfillment. I'm nervous because I know there's going to be a cheaper way to do this. And I'll find out after I've already spent $600 too much shipping everything. Like Mandy, what's her name? Mandy Summers. She was explaining to me. She came on my channel once, and then afterwards I always ask people information. You know, I don't about how to fulfill. And she was telling me like, got to get an account at stamps.com and stuff like that. So I got to do all of that stuff. So I gotta do all that stuff. I gotta learn. And I learn everything the hard way. I'll do it wrong first. 59th Street Bridge, upper level exit or lower level? Lower level exit. So you get off on the lower level, you go straight. You get onto 50, like you do this little thing, you bear right, and now you're on what is it? Queens Boulevard. Is that the name of the street? I forget it. See, 4 years later, and I forget the name of the street. So you're on Queen Boulevard, and you're going to pass like a McDonald's and a Burger King, and and then there's a White Castle right there. You just pull right in. It's the best. It's the best. I'm trying to remember the cross streets, but I honestly can't remember. Document all your printing and shipping processes. We need to learn this stuff too. I will gladly share. Again, me for me to be successful doesn't mean that other people have to fail. Like, I don't understand this whatsoever. Eric July making $3 million only means that this non-traditional form of comic book making is viable. You know, like Keanu Reeves selling them $5 million on Kickstarter. Just go, hey, I'm on the same platform as Keanu Reeves. You know, we're Americans. Everybody could buy 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 10 comics. You know, until Kamala Harris gets elected, we can afford to buy comics. Can we not go there with any drama? Goes to bad place? Absolutely, absolutely. Death Metal Hero avoids into channel. Is that another channel? Is that another channel? I'm human. I'm human. I sometimes say things. I could be goaded easily. I could be tricked into spoiling things. Although I literally have nothing else to spoil. If I get more pages, then I'll spoil it. But I literally got nothing else to spoil. What I used to do with Ethan Stream is sub to people he would make fun of. Smiler, for example. He's not that bad. He's a bit weird with conspiracy theories. I like conspiracy theories. I don't know who Smiler is. I like I said, I got onto your boy Zach like way at the beginning, and from your boy Zach, he was talking about Ethan. So then I started watching Ethan. But when his shows got longer and longer and longer and longer, and I just couldn't watch them. So I stopped listening to his channel a long time ago. But if he had like short 20-minute videos, I would love them. I would love like short 20-minute video, because I'm a completionist. Like I watch the Dice Tower. I watch every video from the Dice Tower. I that's just the way I am. So I had to stop because I can't even before Trashcast, I stopped because I just can't listen to a 4-hour stream and wake up at 4:30 in the morning and go to work and do my own stuff. So I just stopped. You know, back when I still liked them. That's not the bridge, John. Yeah, under the 7 train. Yeah, I get off the 59th Street Bridge, you know, and get under the elevated train. Yeah. Do I have any key Golden Age books? The only I have. Which Batman do I have? I have Batman 250. That's a Golden Age book. And the only real key Golden Age book that I have is Millie the Model #1. To the point I did a video on it, and somebody messaged me that they're from some sort of society that scans comic books so that they'll always have a record of them, and that's one of the comics that they don't have scanned. And would I scan it? You know, and I was like, I don't know how to scan it. You know, I could take pictures of it with my phone. How do you scan it? You know, and I think he emailed me back, but I don't know. I feel like I should do it. It sounds like a worthwhile cause. DMH does have a stream with Jason Basco. Topical. Okay, cool. See you, Logic. His channel is Blacklist Universe. Have a good night, Logic. Smiler's channel. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't listen out of like meanness or anything. I just listened because it was too long. Like, I don't click on any stream that's longer than an hour. That's why I try to keep my streams less than an hour, because you know, I wouldn't click on a 3-hour stream. Tony, like, now I'm wondering if you went into Don's books, if we're the same age. I wonder if we ever met. You know, Albuquerque's not that big of a town. Did you go to UNM? I went to UNM. World at War Comics. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, I'm up late. I'm doing a closeout stream because my Kickstarter is closing tomorrow in 19 hours. So it's 1 o'clock now. What would it be in 19 hours? Why can't I do math? I'm getting sleepy. All right. Wow, 80 people watching. I feel obligated to stay up. I don't know what else to say. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I got a lot to do tomorrow. Not all of it's comic books. Oh, just turned 39. Just went to, so I don't know. Did you buy comics at Don's Books? Because that was my main comic book store, obviously. Uh, and then, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. I'm not that sleepy, but I got a lot to do tomorrow. Still dealing with the insurance because of this. You're closer to where's Comic Warehouse that I opened. I used to go to, and then I would take a ride out to Noble Comics. Is that still there? Is Noble Comics still there? And then there was another one by like a real jerky guy. I can't remember the jerky guy. But the comic book store that I remember the most, of course, was Liz's store, Don's Books. Then there was Noble Comics, which I really liked. That was like I forget if he was Vietnamese or whatever, but he ran that store really well. Oh, it went out of business. Oh man. Oh, Noble's went out. That was a good store. A Comic Warehouse. What town? That was that in a? I forget the name of the town. Oh man, Noble's went out of business. I like that place. But you know what? I think it too late now. I'm just rambling. I'm not really saying much. But yeah, I'm gonna shut it down now. Like I said, Manol Boulevard. Yeah, I forget. It's been so long since I've been in Albuquerque. I'm trying to remember what year was the last time I came back to New York in 2000, and I think I went back to Albuquerque in 2002. So I think the last time I was in Albuquerque was because I went to Albuquerque in 2002 to get my stuff out of storage. Yeah, yeah. As Liz used to play Villain Vigilantes with us. She was in my game group. It's funny. She watches my channel. Tell her I said hello. That's funny. And on that note, good night, everybody. Thanks a lot. 19 hours left to back Heroic Tales on Kickstarter. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for I got 52 backers on Kickstarter. Now I want to see how many backers I have on Fund My Comic. I don't have these numbers memorized, but Fund My Comic. Oh, it's not active anymore, so it's not on the front page. Oh, it used to be on the front page, so now I gotta sign in and click on it. My campaigns. I did $6,053 on Fund My Comic with 213 backers. Wow. And then on Kickstarter, I did 52 backers. So how many backers did I say? So that's 270 something backers. 52 plus, that's 65. So 265 backers. Wow. Amazing. I backed down. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? Justin? Well, good night, everybody. I'm starting to babble and I'm up too late. So I'm going to stop. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's see. Who do I have scheduled? Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I have, tomorrow being Tuesday, so tonight, I have Wooly at Terrier Comics. And then Wednesday, I have Tom DeFalco at 7 And then 8:30, it's comic book team up, and it looks like it's going to be Fabrizio Aiello. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then that's it for the week. I don't have anybody scheduled. Oh, and then I have it's clobbering time on Friday. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you. And I don't know what else to say. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.